Welcome. Hope y'all are doing well. This is Bridge the Gap. My name is Holden Stephan Roy. Joining me today is Fel, and this is the show where we talk to interesting people such as yourself, and we go through your life, and we extract some knowledge nuggets along the way, and we learn some stuff, and we just talk, and that's basically what the show is in a very concise nutshell. But before we get into it, in order for my proper opening to work and for it all to make sense, can you just take a quick second to just kind of introduce yourself a little briefly? And most importantly, you need to tell us where you start your life.
Yeah, so I'm Fel. Right now I'm living in Georgia. I came from the West Coast, came from Reno, Nevada, California area. It's pretty much where I grew up. Uh,
So you grew up.
as soon as I'm,
Don't even
mhm,
worry about that as soon as. Trust, we're gonna get there.
yeah,
We're going back to that first part. That's where we're going back to next. I promise. So Nevada, California kind of area out in the west.
yep.
So like, let's say when you were 5, where were you at?
I was in the Bay Area in California,
Say what?
and yeah, I spent a lot of time in California. Like that's where I think most of my music stuff pretty much originated from California and then grew in Nevada, and then I'm forced to live here because of work.
Alright, we're gonna go through all of that in probably
Yeah.
more detail than you were expecting. On that note, do have a proper opening question. And what's mad important is we're going back to the Bay Area for this one for everybody watching this.
Hmm.
How it works, a bit of a story. After that, when it lands, we're gonna basically kind of just let you talk and kind of go through it your own way. So with that, it all starts with my girlfriend, and she's washing her dishes one time, and basically what happens is she's playing her phone, and she's got the Black Eyed Peas song playing. The I got a feeling, ooh. She's vibing and she's dancing and she's doing her thing, and what ends up happening is basically I look at her and I start thinking to myself, when did this song become chores music? Right? Because if you really think about this song and you run it back like 10, 11 years to the past times, simpler times, people will be like playing this in the middle of the night when it's some like party anthem, like, everybody drunk, everybody dancing, doing their thing. And then 10 years goes by, everybody gets 10 years older. The song, it doesn't change at all because it's a song and they don't really change at all. And then the context that we have in terms of our relationship with that song changes so drastically that it's no longer super faded drinking, partying, trying to meet people type vibes. And it's now washing the dishes and trying to do chores and, maybe working out and being kind of productive vibes, which got me thinking about the whole transition of musicians and the journey that we all go on across our lives and whatnot. And I started realizing that as musicians, the musical journey starts way earlier than anybody really ever wants to seem to talk about. Like, you watch a lot of interviews. Okay, predominantly I watch hip hop ones, but I still venture into other genres and whatnot. And you find that most people be like starting the story in their adolescent phase when they first come into contact with music in terms of a personal way where it inspired or impacted them, and then they start telling the stories of how they all got started. But usually that's kind of not really coming in early. It's like 9, 10, 11 years old where a lot of people started. But really, music is one of those things that impacts us from the very, very, very beginning. Like, when I'm saying beginning, I mean if you run it back to wherever you was born, there was probably some music playing in that room, and basically, you were already absorbing it as a wee little baby. And I say that because I can remember being like 5 in Montreal, and we in the apartment, and my dad's got all these gray boxes that would take him forever to set up: the amp, the preamp, the radio, the tape deck, all these different things with the little wires and the speakers going out all over the room, and be bumping his Led Zeppelins and his stuff like that kind of during the daytimes and certain vibes, but at nighttime it would be the EDM club music straight from the clubs over the radio, coming. That's that Montreal thing. I'm sure it happened everywhere, but Montreal was doing it for big time every night. And then my mom, she like loves songs and musicals and soft rock and disco. She really liked disco actually, and a whole bunch of stuff like that. And like it kind of created this little ambiance of music that would kind of stick with me and become the soundtrack of my life long before I had any control over it. You know, like it wasn't like my musical story starts with, I like this. Nah, it's my parents like this stuff. I was kind of forced to listen to it. And then one day, that next everyone else starts the story. That's like kind of chapter 2 sort of thing. So I was hoping as you could run us back to the earliest fell that you could remember being and tell us a lot about what it sounded like to be you when you were growing up before you had any control over the musical choices that you listened to.
Yeah. So I think the earliest I can remember is my parents. The earliest I can remember is I was sitting. I think it might have been like first, second, third grade, and we got this flyer for a choir for the Golden Gate Boys Choir for auditions, and I gave it to my mom. I remember this, and then they took me to the choir to audition because it was like one of those choirs where you had to audition to be in.
Right.
And yeah, I auditioned because I guess since before that's like my earliest memory, but before then I guess I was singing a lot and stuff like that. So they were like, oh, he can sing. Let's send him to his choir. And then from there I got accepted into the choir, and it was pretty much like a music school for the youth. So we learned, how to read, write music, how to play the piano, how to sing, and like, you had to be good. Like you had to compete and test to stay in the choir. So it was like a pretty hardcore music school where they're just slaving the kids to sing. And we would go, we would like choir practice twice a week. And then I think it was twice a month we'd go sing at weddings and stuff like that. But that's like the earliest I can remember is when my parents like forced me into that choir. It was like, here, do music.
So I definitely want to know more about this choir because that's fire to like think about as a concept. First of all, whoever owned that choir made hella bank at these weddings. That's all I'm saying. Like, what a fucking business.
Off of the children. I did.
And then also
we got nothing
to make it basically like reality TV at the same time, right? Like that's basically some fucking game show you can't film where you have kids like singing like who's the best competitor and it's wild. And what kind of stuff did you have to sing? Was it like wedding classics or like what kinds of songs?
So it was stuff like Ave Maria and like church music. I can't really remember a lot of what we sung, but I know it was a lot of church music and like mass singing, because we would go to churches and sing at the churches for mass and stuff like that. So it was a lot of that type of music.
That's fair.
It was pretty intense. I looked them up. They're still around, but yeah, they were making a lot of money off of us.
That's a wild thought. What kind of music did your parents like?
So frankly, my dad like mostly listens to classical and then talk radio. That was about it. And then my mom was listening to more of the modern 90s 2000 type rock and pop type music and love ballads. So
music
that's kind of what the music was around me.
So in your like case, it wasn't like your parents were like super into music or they just had it around. They just kind of pushed you into music and it became your obsession due to the fact that like you went through the survivor of music choirs back in the day. And
also they were paying a lot of money to put me into this choir, which is like, dude, this choir is making bank. But so they were really supportive of what I wanted to do, and so I enjoyed doing it. And I think I did that all the way up until like we just moved to Nevada. I was in that choir for a long time.
That's really crazy, like to think about. But like the more interesting part for makes it like relevant to your story is that like from a really early age, 6, 7, 8, like that era, you're already performing, but not just performing, you're like doing it with other people in a context that is super monetizable. Whether or not you monetized it, you're still getting the experience in the industry to draw back from it and see that it exists. And all, like that's a wild start off this. So you're like musical career is basically your whole life.
Pretty much, yeah.
So you,
And I remember before then I'd like toy on the piano and try and like, just press notes. I didn't really know what I was playing. So they probably were just seeing, oh, this guy is interested and can sing. Let's put him into the choir.
fair. So you run the choir for Gauntlet, and then y'all moved to Nevada.
Yeah. I think it was before I started high school. I think it was around ninth grade is when I moved to Nevada. My parents pretty much split up, and then we went to my mom moved to Reno. My dad stayed in California.
And so when you get to Nevada, is music still like a fore focus? And like, I guess, did you have other hobbies and passions on top of music at that time?
Yeah, so I really like just making stuff and design, and I was actually starting to, which what my career is. I'm a game developer. I make video games. So I was also throughout my life on a computer all the time, like creating either programming or on like level editors, making levels and stuff like that. So it was kind of doing two things at once.
So you were
You
the
know, I
kid that
was
was like fucking with all the level editors.
yeah,
No, honestly, that's
yeah.
cool. Like back in the day, I never had the patience for it. But now that I kind of get a base level of coding and shit, I'm like, okay, say word.
Hmm.
That's like a really use. So like, let me ask you a more modern question. Like when they drop like that Mario game where you can make custom Mario levels on the Switch and shit, are you like excited
Hmm.
for that? Like, are you all on that?
I really like Mario Maker. I love games that they have their own editor because I'm just like creating. Like right now, I've been playing Escape Simulator and been making escape rooms on that because it comes with its own editor. Like I love doing all that type of stuff.
So it's almost like more fun for you to like create your own level to contribute to the like greater game than it is to play the game.
Yeah, and I feel the same way with music. I just love. I like pretty much all I do is create and design, and it's either music or games. Mostly music, and then I work, which is video games. But every now and then I'll find a game that I like and I'll play it for a little bit.
That, that's so cool. Like for me, that's like cool because I have no real like good at it. I'm not good at game design, but I'm fascinated by game design. I literally watched
Mm-hmm.
over the last couple of years like, hours and hours and hours of videos of guys describing all the things designers choose to do because
Yep.
they notice it and I don't notice it, so I let them notice it for me, and I find that highly
Mm-hmm.
entertaining. So I appreciate like the entire industry of it. But like going back to I guess when you were in Nevada, so when you're down there, now that you've like passed out of the choir phase, what kind of like
Yeah.
happens next in your journey?
So yeah, what I was doing, I was pretty much just being a truant and not going to school. But I would sit in my room and I was like programming or level designing. I was doing a little bit of music. I didn't really do a lot of music until after high school. I was kind of stuck in the gaming realm per se,
So what does
the
that
programming
mean in
side of
high
it.
school for you? Because yo, most of us were probably not programming in high school when you were doing that life.
Yeah.
So you just got to imagine that nobody watching knows what you mean when you say that. And then you can describe what you mean by saying you were in the gaming sphere in high school.
Oh yeah. So I was playing a lot of video games, mostly games that had editors, so I can create new content for them. And then I was also back then in DOS. They had, which is the operating system and command prompt. QBasic was available for anyone. So you just pretty much typed in Open QBasic, and it would open up this software where you could write code in QBasic, which is one of the basic programming languages to make a game in. And so I started learning that, and I was actually programming a lot in high school. And it was funny when they had a computer class in high school as a freshman, they pretty much skipped me all the way up to the senior computer class into web design. Because I like the first day a programming class, I showed the teacher a game I built already, and she was like, "Oh, you're way too advanced for this."
That is fucking incredible. Yo, couple questions. Well, mostly from Ismail. I gotta keep in mind Ismail being in the software sphere. Personally, I'm in the software sphere, so we both down to hear you talk that tech is all I'm saying. Um, his first question though is less techy. It's more, did you play Little Big Planet?
I played Little Big Planet. I don't think so.
Yeah, I did
It
not.
sounds familiar though.
I know I kind of know what it is, but I do not know what it is fully. The other thing
Yeah.
is, are you down to create content in the metaverse, which is kind of one of my normal end of interview questions, but screw it. Ismail asked, I'm fucking curious. Are you down to be a metaverse content creator as a video game industry dude?
So I think it is pretty interesting, the metaverse. I think virtual concerts are a pretty cool idea where people can go see a concert in VR, or if you don't have a VR, you can just go to a place. Everyone can go to a place virtually and go to your concert, and then you can also combine that with then selling. You could like self promote your work as well and sell like custom NFTs and stuff like that in that sort of platform. I think it's a really interesting idea. I think there's a lot of money in it if it starts like kicking off.
Yo, it's totally got money. It just needs people who know how to code in the game. Because personally, I got crazy ideas for the metaverse. I just don't know. I opened up Unity one time, my guy.
Yeah.
I closed Unity. That's basically.
So I actually recommend the Unreal Engine for anyone who's starting off, because they pretty much make the base of the game for you, and it's a very visual based engine. So if you really don't need to know how to code to make a game in Unreal, which is
Nah, I totally hear
really
you.
cool.
It was like, okay, because I went into All Space VR, because it's more like, I was like, yo, how do I create like this in VR and brand it? And then they said,
Yeah.
Unity. And I said, well, what's Unity actually? And I downloaded it and learned how little I know about actually doing any of that stuff. So, yo, if you know how to do that stuff,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Unreal 4. So Unreal 4 has like plug and play for VR stuff. You can pretty much just run it, and all this code for VR is already in there.
Is it
Which is
like
really
free to
good.
use Unreal 4?
Yep.
That's
Unreal
wild.
4 is free.
Yo, I may even try that. If I try that,
Not a sponsor.
nah, it's just sharing knowledge, yo. Because the truth
Yeah.
is, like, look, what we're doing right now works in VR. There's almost like a seamless transition from our ability to create it. It's mostly the ecosystems like surrounding it that are problematic.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of clunky to stream a Twitch stream into VR right now, etc. But in the future, we'd just be like sitting there with fucking helmets on, literally just doing the same shit in branded rooms.
Yeah. And when you're in VR or in a PC universe, you could do whatever you want for visuals, or like you could just be like, boom, transform, and you're now in Africa because we're playing this one song, or you could like really custom 3D environments for the viewers. And I think that whole viewing experience is going to be amazing. And also make sure that they're also interactive. So be like, hey, play this mini game, and everyone who wins, maybe it activates something on the screen for everyone.
Bro, you said mini game.
Getting people involved.
You know how to make mini games. See, that's the difference between you and me. I'll be sitting there too busy thinking about concerts and settings, and you're like, bro, keep the people entertained while you're rapping. I'm like, this guy's got
I saw
it.
this one. It was League of Legends. They did their Pentakill concert, and they had this really cool thing where it was like they had these moments in the video where everyone would like spam one in chat, and it would build up this progress bar. And then once the progress bar got full, it like exploded and then like changed the whole scene. And I thought it was like really cool because it had everyone involved like to spam one as fast as they could.
Yeah, no, that's.
I think stuff like that's really interesting, and you could definitely do that in a metaverse. Like in VR, you just have stuff come up, like everyone play. Maybe have like some like space song or whatever, right? And then all of a sudden, Space Invaders comes down, and people are playing Space Invaders, while they're
You could just like imagine a concert and then now everybody like doing some GTA shooter shit. Like,
Yeah, and then what they're doing affects the concert, right? People would be scoring or something.
or
I
like,
think it'd be
yo,
dope.
imagine it even mad different. Like, okay, so it's like battle rap and shit, and then the crowd gets to like fucking fight in a video game context. And then based
Hmm.
on the battle rapper's fucking
Yeah,
performance, they get better gear to fuck up the other side.
you have a mosh pit. You have a mosh pit circle open up, and then you as your VR self go in and just mosh pit everyone.
Yeah, I thought about that shit. So in that case, what you do, because you have like your, because I know you can go photorealistic with it at some point. I don't know how to do
Yeah,
it. So like you have a room where your artist gets scanned and their avatar is like mad photorealistic. But that same
yeah.
room uses AR projection to take the avatars that are in the VR space and project them into the room. So the person could
Okay,
be like moshing amongst the avatars while being
they could do
captured
that.
photorealistically. I'm sure they can. I'm just sure I can't afford it.
Yeah, you can do that. Well, no, you could do that because if he just has AR glasses, the program itself would
Say
just project where the
word.
players are.
Cause
Yeah,
yo,
it'd
I
be really
think
cheap.
that would be like ideally a way to take it to the immersive level where artists in the room don't feel like it's cornball rap. Look, man,
Hmm.
rapping at a camera is just corny. I like it enough to
Yeah,
do it because it's worth doing, but like compared to rapping to like something like even the alt space VR hand wiggles, bro, those are actual
yeah,
hands wiggling. So like it gives you a
yeah,
sense of something. So like that's so cool. I had no idea this is where this was going, but
yeah.
I very
Well,
much
I
like it.
mean, we're here. We're here. Let's smoke some more.
Ah,
No, but you could go to a company like Sony and 3D scan yourself. Then you'll have your model. Then you don't need to do that anymore. And then you just make the game or make the app, make the application.
bro, we need to talk more and more. This might be better to keep going in terms of specifics off cam. I can tell them my soul. We should end it while it's hot. Go back to you in Nevada ending high
But we can
school.
go back to we go back to Nevada in high school. So I was I think one of my high school years I missed like 100 and something days
Fucking
because I was just
A.
like F this.
Fucking coding and skipping school. Like, it's
Yeah.
badass, but like also like way more badass today than it was back then, I imagine.
I guess I should have actually probably gone to school, but
I mean, you do the game thing now. You did the game thing
yeah,
then.
that's true.
One could argue.
Yeah, and yeah, go on.
One could
Yeah,
argue
I
you put
mean,
your time into the thing that worked out in your long run.
yeah, I'm just go back to my parents. I'm like, look at me now.
I mean,
Told you.
it's, I do remind my mom that people make crazy money on Twitch playing games here and there, and that it's surprisingly
Yeah.
a viable career option to like on a low key end. You could just film yourself playing mobile games right now, make YouTube reviews. If you did enough of them, you'd make a couple $100 a month, even if you were trash at it.
Hmm. Well, that goes with anything. Even the music, I see a lot of the music people on Twitch. Like some of them are getting some good views. And it's like one of these days.
From what I can tell about Twitch, is all community. Like the people
It,
who
it is. Hmm.
pull views, put that effort into making friends. And yo, even
Hmm.
Udranightshade was like, "Yo, go network." I'm like, fair. Like every time
Yeah.
I talk to anybody, it's like go net, like reach, exit. He's here, but yo, his stream's late. I'll be watching him fucking play Jackbox with people, but his like whole personality is like way nicer than me. I don't know. I could be as nice as he is
Yeah.
and has like demeanor and shit. But that's not necessarily how you have to be. But like watching other people do it, but then you just get to know them and you get connected with it. Like, and I figure out more that like it's important for me to find people who share the goals that you have. Almost what beauty of Twitch is that like via I guess Discords and shit, you can link up with more people. Big misplay on my end, not fucking with Discord at
Mm.
first, but like then you squad up and you make friends. So like I know a bunch of those like freestyler dudes and I just kind of talk to them here and there on and then over time we rate each other. A lot of it is rating each other.
Yeah.
If
I think it's what it's about is that community, especially with all these groups. Like, you meet up with other streamers, other groups, and like, let's build this family.
that's kind of
But
it.
yeah, so after I think it was like pretty much after high school is when I to get back on point.
Yeah, it's
Feel like
alright.
get
That's how.
back on
No, bro,
point.
it's like this. That's the whole
Yeah,
show. It goes there, back
that's
on
fine.
point. There, but then so yeah, we
Yeah.
can go back on point.
So after high school is when I started actually getting back into the music again. Um,
Are you still in Nevada after high school?
I'm still in Nevada. Yeah. So I pretty much had a 5 year party period, which don't want to talk about, but it was a fun party. And then I was like, I should go get. My dad was like, I will help support you if you go to college. And I was like, okay, well, I kind of need help supporting right now, so I'll go to college. So I went to college. I had two options. It was either programming or music, because then I picked up the guitar. I can't remember when I was picking up the guitar, but I picked up the guitar and started playing it. So I was like, I'm gonna go to college for music, and I went to college for musical performance for the guitar. And then that really started kicking everything off. So yeah, it was crazy. I was like full music in my kid half teen years, and then a break
Well,
of
you
like
hold
just
on.
hard,
Do you know what's interesting about the party phase? You might not want to go into detail for.
yeah,
I think it's an important phase for musicians to go through. You know
yeah.
why? Because nobody talks to fans enough. I promise. Everybody you
Mm-hmm.
partied with was a fan.
Yeah, that is true. It was a fun period. I think, like you said, everyone needs to go through it. I did almost hit rock bottom, which I also think a lot of people should go through as well. You really need to know what it's like to have nothing so that you don't want to go back there in life. That's the point. You look back, it's like, man, I don't want to do that ever again.
Yeah.
Which kind of keeps you sane.
I would
Um,
never repeat my early 20s for all the money in the world for how much I was not a huge fan of my early 20s. I'll be completely honest with you. So I empathize from the bottom of my fucking soul.
yep, I did pick up the guitar then though, and I think that was important during my party life. One of my friends, uh, he was the guitarist in the band, and he showed me how to play guitar, and then was teaching me stuff. And then I started like really playing guitar then to kind of get my mind off of partying so much and trying to get myself back into stability. So I was like super hyper focused on playing the guitar, um, which I think kind of actually saved me. I think the guitar really saved me because I was going down a pretty bad party spiral.
Sometimes that can happen. But when you
Yeah.
started playing the guitar, was it like solo stuff? Did you get involved with bands? Like, what was that like?
Yeah. So I was playing at that time in my life. I was just playing by myself, playing with friends. My friend got a bass, and we were just jamming, just playing sounds pretty much, right? What sounded good to us. I knew a few things, and that was about it. My best friend today, actually, who was playing the bass, he's still my best friend. Um, yeah, he was actually with me during that party time. But yeah,
Yo,
and a couple
what's
other
really, if people
people.
are still friends after
Mhm.
that, they be real friends.
Yep. Well, you know what? It takes you losing everything to know who your true friends are. Yeah. But yeah, there's also a couple people who were like really good soloists I hung out with. I also hung out with my friend who taught me guitar, and he was playing in the band, so I'd go watch him play. And then I started actually getting into like Steve Vai and Joe Satriani. Those like really intricate heavy metal players. They're just like pretty much soloists. Pretty much they just massive solo everything. Um, yeah, I was starting to get into that type of heavy metal music, and I still am kind of a metalhead these days. You might be able to hear it in some of my songs,
Maybe.
but
I wasn't explicitly looking for it, but I feel like metal's like that. It's like you can't just like metal and let go of metal. Nah, you like metal, and then you hear a riff and you're like, I like it. Even if it's not like your
yeah,
like I kind of go back and forth on what my favorite genre is. I don't stick with a favorite genre that long in life,
yeah,
but I also never stop liking any of my favorite genres. It's just more I reprioritize which ones I love more in a given year kind of thing. So like
Hmm.
it's like you hear that Master of Puppets fucking licks and you're just like forever. Like,
Yeah.
like you can't help it once you get into it. I mean, I'm sure there are better, cooler metal examples, but that's what popped into my head, okay?
I mean, that's a good one. I actually learned that song. One of my friends showed me that song. I don't know if I can play it now. Um, yeah, and also my best friend, and now I remember my best friend was also showing me some music like Nine Inch Nails. He was showing me Infected Mushroom. That's where I started to get the EDM um, vibes in my head going. We would actually sit and make music on Fruity Loops or EJ. The reason both those programs. The EJ's old
Bro,
school.
EJ has come up like 4 or 5 fucking times in like the last like 3 months, and it didn't come up at all before
Yeah.
that. And it's just wild because like I fucked around with EJ when I was in high school because my dad got one of the EJs, like two to one. It
Yeah.
wasn't one, but it was definitely an early number, and I fucked with that shit. It was one of those buy like 17 boxes of software for $20 packs kind of thing.
Hmm. Yeah, my friend has a hard drive somewhere. I think it's at his dad's that has all our old music on it, which I kind of want to get because this is like 23, 24-year-old fell that is still partying. Let's just put it that way, making music. I kind of want to hear the stuff that we made.
Yo, that'd be wild. I would love to hear the music you made when you were in your 20s.
I would too. It's probably just ridiculous.
It's probably good though. I feel like the younger stuff has like this passionate rawness to it, where like our
Yeah.
disciplined older selves are not as good at the raw undisciplined.
Yeah, the more lessons I get, the more disciplined I get, and I don't like it, but I do at the same time. It's like, well, I am disciplined, but I don't want to be.
Yeah, I go through that a lot in life. I mean, even with music, the more disciplined I become with music, it changes how I make music. Is it
Yeah.
better or worse? I don't know. I couldn't
Hmm.
tell you. I just know it's changed, and I don't know that I can really go back. It's like you can't unknow all the things you learned. So like I could never do what I
Right.
could do when I was 21, even though I was trash in my opinion.
That's why one of my friends, he makes really good music, and I don't want to give him a lesson in like, here's how you know what you're playing, because I'm afraid that once I tell him, you know, give him structure, he's gonna change the way that he makes music, and I don't want that.
Yeah, I mean, it's bound to like he'll give himself his own structure over time just by
Yeah.
virtue of life, but also depends on I guess what we all want out of it. But it's cool that you like got into guitar. Were you like I guess did you ever get into like the band world and like playing
Hmm.
with all the peoples and performings and all that good stuff?
Yeah. So during my college age, the college era, I was playing in bands. I had two choices. I had a choice between two different teachers, a classical teacher or a jazz teacher. I chose the jazz teacher, which I think was the right option. But I'm jazz trained on guitar, and then I had a couple friends that were, also going through the music uh, path. And one of my friends was also a guitarist, and we kind of formed a duo. And we would to hustle money, we would play at restaurants. We were playing at this one Italian restaurant, doing like this lounge jazz music, and then we would get a meal every night for it. So that's how pretty much I fed myself through college, was busing through restaurants. And
Yo, that's
we played at a
wild.
wine bar once. That was interesting.
Did they pay you in wine?
They paid us in wine. It was tips, so you get to keep your tips, and then every time we took a break, they pay us in wine. I swear, one of the bottles that they opened was like $100 bottle because it just tasted like rose petals came out of the wine. I was like, this is a really good wine.
I mean, that's at least a win. I'm just saying that's cool as
Yeah,
fuck though. That
that's how you survive, dude. Especially as a busking musician, you have to eat somehow. So you know,
so you really like ran that busk life a la Max.
I tried to. Yeah, my friend really pushed me to do that, and I was like, okay, let's do it. It was fun. got to eat some good meals at quality restaurants for free.
And did you
It was
do well
nice.
with
Yeah.
tips?
Not really. My friend had this like old lady that would come every time we would go to the Italian restaurant. She would be there, and she was definitely hitting on him.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta
Yeah,
do
I
for
mean,
the.
well, we learned a song. Yeah, we learned a song because she came up and said, "Oh, do you guys know Girl from Ipanema?" And we didn't, and then we went and learned it. And the next week, we came back and we played it for her.
That's cool, man.
Yeah,
So you got a lot of.
yeah, we would do birthdays too. Like if someone had a birthday at the table, we'd go by and do the birthday song.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you ran that for a while, and then what kind of?
I ran that for a while, and I was also, game designing as well. I was one of the. I can't tell I don't think I can say what company I work for, but one of the games that they released, I started making a ton of maps on. I was kind of getting popular through that community as well. So I was making music and making games,
So this is
and
like from
then
the modding side of life.
yeah, from the modding side. And I actually got contracted a couple of times. They hit me up and contracted me while I was still in college to make a couple maps. And those were, I was like, that's when I started learning that, oh, I can actually make money. I can make some serious money, just making maps. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I think so. What was crazy, I was going into college, I was in college for music, but I was actually doing better with the level design and stuff. So I was kind of in my financial path. I was like, well, I'm making money doing level stuff. I'm gonna push this and continue doing music as a passion.
Right.
You know.
I mean, ultimately, as I've learned one thing about music is you really, really do need to make sure that your financial situation is in a good enough order if you ever want to take music, any
Yeah.
kind of revel seriously. So it to me sounds like you made the right choice because holy shit is the modding community fucking crazy and a lot of
Yeah.
companies pay like a lot of
Yeah.
companies.
I would have become. I think I would have become a studio musician if I went the other way, because I was. It would take me a little bit to be primed and ready, but at that point, I was like primed and ready to go into any studio and they could hire me as a guitarist and I'll play for them. But now I'm a little rusty. But back then it was like I think that's the path I would have went down, studio musician.
That's still fire.
But yeah, I'm glad that I have the job that I have today because it gives me the ability to make music,
Yeah, I feel very
as a
sim.
passion. Yeah,
I mean, I think it's interesting the way that you frame it like that, right? Because I know a lot of people who make music to make money, and it creates this complicated
yeah,
nature where, like, I guess every decision you make about music is different when your choices are coming from a place of I'm trying to make money off of the music versus I'm just trying to make money so I can make the music I want to make. Like, those are two extremely
yeah,
different ways, I think, to approach music. And I think it's
yeah.
cool that you kind of have that attitude where you kind of would rather like bang it out, but you're still creative with your job, so it's still like
Hmm.
dope. I mean,
Yeah, and I think once like money gets involved in like music or whatever, you're not making for yourself. You're making for other people, right? And I think the best music you make is the music that comes from you and isn't forced by deadlines and whatnot, and stylized. Because even then, it's like, oh, I need to make this type of style of music, but I don't like making the style. But this is what's paying the bills right now. They get it seems like these musicians that are pretty much making money or making music to live on, or just making music to make the consumer happy, and they're not making themselves happy.
or
They're
like
like slaving.
even running back to Twitch, there are a lot of people I see with acoustic guitars and like lists of songs in demand that they'll play, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I respect that hustle. I do not know that I have it in my soul to do that hustle.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just
Well, that's doing two things too, because that's also they're getting practice on guitar. So I mean, that's always good to do stuff
Okay.
like that to try and combine stuff. Like, so you're not only getting a following, you're also using this for practice.
That's a very
You know.
legitimate and fair point. I hadn't really considered in terms of like doing it on command like that, but it feels like as a career niche, it's bizarre to me. Maybe my like perceptions on it aren't like the ones the whole world should follow. It doesn't change that to me. It's so fucking
Mm,
bizarre to see happening. Like a lot of the I want to call them trends because I only really see them on Twitch. So I mean, they're clearly Twitch trends or career paths. And as they carve out and the way people do things to make money, I find so like wildly interesting. Whereas like I don't know that everybody looks happy doing it. Is the one thing I can say about it. Some people
yep.
really look happy.
Yep.
I would argue most people have that smile that like is more like you not because like yo when you grind it out like long time you hit that point where you fucking hate going live even then you do it anyway still
Hmm.
and that's what I see a lot of in people and it's like I don't know I'm kind of glad I don't do that so I don't feel that.
Yeah, I found I was actually when I kind of started going hardcore into streaming, it kind of felt like a job. I didn't want it to feel like a job. So I cut my days back, cut my hours back, and it's way better for me now. 'Cause I'm just streaming because I want to hang out with my community. Let's make some music, or I do music feedback, so let's hear everyone's music, or I do live sets every now and then. This is party. You know,
That's dope. I mean
instead of grind. I see some streamers that are like 8 hours a day every day. It's like, how do you do that?
I could do 4 hours a day most days but I don't know how you do 8 hours a day. I feel like 4 to 5 a day. I
Yeah.
could probably manage. I did it most of last year, and it was by the end I didn't enjoy it, but for a long period of time I really did enjoy it. But then you get kind of attached to your
Mm-hmm.
numbers and all the other shit that happens when you really get into content
Yeah.
line. And so,
Yeah.
yo, shout out Uja saying that you give actionable, valuable feedback on your Twitch review show.
Oh, thanks, Udra. I try. Yeah, I try and I mean, I don't like feedback channels where it's like, oh, that was cool, good. And then next, but it's like I wanna hear the song and help improve based on my ears, because nothing is right or wrong in music, but it's just how people listen to it. So based off of my ears, my feedback, like, oh, you could do this with the EQ, or sometimes I give arrangement feedback. It's like, oh, it's a little bit repetitive, but yeah.
Actually, that's not bad at all. Stuff like that is super nifty. Because most I've seen some really weird feedback channels in terms of why I don't really often go to it because I
Yeah,
don't know.
and it seems to go pretty good on my channel, because I am very critical, but every now and then you do get those people that are like, oh no, you're wrong. It's like, well, it's just one person's opinion. You don't need to feel insulted by it. But
People have okay. It's I find artists are cool. It's fans of artists I don't like.
yeah.
It's never the artist I find that I have a huge issue
Mm,
because I used to do reviews, right? Not like review
yeah.
music live, but like album reviews and shit. And artists,
Yeah.
I never had an artist one time ever be like whatever. They were all like, "Wow, you took time. You were white, but like you took time to cover my shit." I did get a couple you were whites, and I accepted them. But the fans,
Yeah.
holy shit, fans are fucking mean. They'll like stab you over dissing their favorite artist or something, and it doesn't have to be a diss. They'll just still, it's wild. It makes me like
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little different with the like. I think the what you're doing with it, because it's less like, "Hi, fans of an artist, come listen to my opinion." You're going, "Hey,
Yeah.
artist, come get my like actual opinions." But like, yeah, that's my fear of that shit. Is always the fans. It's not actually artists at all.
I remember one person I did feedback for, and it was they posted a rap song, and it was, I think I counted 30 swear words in like 10 or 15 seconds. And I
That's
was like, yo, I can't play this. You got to actually choose English words. They got they got so mad. They got so mad. I was like, dude, how is this gonna be played on radio? Like, if you want this to get played anywhere, how's this gonna get played? That's what I was trying to explain to him. I said, you got to articulate. Don't just swear. Udra was there for that. Yeah,
That's freaking
and they got
amazing.
so mad. It's like, yo, you said like 30 swear words in like 10 seconds.
I don't think anybody that I know has ever thought about how to get a shit played on radio. To be honest with you, like I don't think
Yeah,
it's like something people really.
really.
Nah, I mean, okay, I had a recent
Mm,
experience. Somebody peer pressured me, and I say it with love. They were like, "Hey, you want to come to this lunch and learn?" The person's like doing exactly what you described, like fucking song listenings for
yeah.
syndication on TV. I did not get told that you should not swear. So I sent him my track Lose
Mm-hmm.
Weight, which is all about losing weight so you can fuck better and shit.
Yeah.
I did not know that this
That's
was.
not radio friendly.
No, but I got told it was HBO friendly. And I got told it was other thing friendly.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm totally movie
Yeah.
HBO friendly. I'm just not radio friendly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm internet radio
Which
friendly.
is fine. I mean,
Internet
one of
radio is
my
valid
only
enough.
profession now, I do take lessons from people. He just released a song for one of the shows on Nickelodeon, and he's gets paid bank, bank. Like, just follow the money is what I'm saying. If people say you're HBO friendly, glad go towards HBO material. Let's go. I bet you they pay a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, it was what they
You
said in
know?
terms of. I think they were trying to be nice and be like, you are not
Yeah.
getting played on Canadian television, my guy, with your current
Yeah.
sound. And I went through my entire fucking catalog, dude, and I'm like, nah, I'm just not gonna. I don't
hmm
movies and HBO showcase. It ain't gonna
Yeah.
be no fucking
Yeah.
stuff. But
It's a lot of money.
Udra makes a good
Um,
point though. Just swearing when done right, saying something in a dope way can be effective, but some
yes.
people just loop swear words for nothing.
Yeah, if you're gonna swear, it needs to have meaning. It's not just dropping the F bomb for no reason. You know.
That's fair.
But yeah, I was gonna say, even video games. My friend was telling me, one of my friends who works where I work, he's one of the audio guys. He was telling me that they could pay, if they were to buy a song from someone, they could pay up to $5,000 for that song because they're buying it and licensing it and taking that song from you. Like,
Yo,
dude,
okay, so
single songs make a lot of money.
what does that mean for me? Let's say somebody comes on in and goes, I'm gonna scoop up your track, here's 5 G's, of which I'm not even gonna lie, I'd probably say yes right now. I'm not in a
Yeah,
position to say no to that. So they do that.
yeah.
Do I just now I can't use my song without their consent?
You would be able to use the song after the game is released, I believe, because it goes under the NDA of the game, right? So once it's like your song, like I don't know exactly how it works, but it would definitely go under an NDA until the game is released, and then you probably could play it again on your
But like,
on your channel. I really don't know how that works.
would that be like?
Maybe they buy it out straight up, right?
So does this mean you have to have like this bank of unreleased shit to sell to people, or can it be like shit that's on your Spotify? People can come through and be like, "I'm gonna cop that track off you."
Yeah, I honestly don't know how that works. I know for like other labels, if they were to take your song, they'll take your song and put it under their labels. Maybe that's how it works. But for the video games, I don't know how that part works.
No, that's fair. But
It's a good question now.
honest, nobody I know is even remotely connected to it. So it's like super nifty that you're like even sitting there
Yeah,
thinking about syndication.
I'm always trying to think about money.
Nah, I hear you. And if you can produce the way that you produce, I mean, because I was sitting there
Yeah.
going, Matrix. It's got Matrix vibes all over it. You just gotta
hmm
get one track in that Matrix movie, and that's
Yeah.
got to be a stack.
And I honestly attribute a lot of what I'm doing now to my college days. So I learned a lot. Like I learned all theory, all the way up to theory 4. I learned sight singing and dictation, which I actually recommend to anyone. That's where you can sing rhythms and go like ta ta, like a ta 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 ti ti ta 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 katima ta, So you just start being able to sing rhythms and then also sing scales of notes, and that really helps me, at least when I hear something in my head, to be able to put what's in my head directly onto paper really quick. Because I can be like, oh, that's a whole note, that's a quarter note, that's what I'm hearing in my head. I'm just going blah, blah, blah. So I really recommend sight singing and dictation. That was one of my classes that I took in college. I also recommend learning piano. People should learn piano. I took 4 years piano. That's super useful for making music.
So like, at what point
The
do you,
theory.
at what point do you stop like playing guitar? I guess not that you're saying you stop, but like just the guitar and busking and all that. What is it kind of you get like the gigs doing the fucking maps and whatnot? And at what point are you now like electronic producer man? Like that seems like a bit of a transition.
Yeah. So throughout my busking, I was still making electronic music. So I was playing guitar and then I was like making making electronic beats, but nothing to what I'm making today. But I think it all turned after I moved here into Georgia. So I got a job offer for the company that I was modding for. I poked them for about 6 years until they said, "Fine, we'll hire you."
Yeah, that's
And so
wild.
they hired me.
That's wild.
It took 6 years.
Nah, but I mean, you
Now they
say it.
can't get
Hold
rid of
on.
me.
You say it. It took 6 years with the chuckle. Then you added actually a great caveat
Yeah.
point. They can't get rid of you. But I mean, that's kind of how life works, right? Like, if you want some shit, it
Mm-hmm.
like might require that level of effort to catch the attention of the people that you want. So it's actually really commendable that you put like 6 years of effort into getting the job that you have, because it's an ill ass fucking job, all things considered.
Mm. Yeah, I always say whatever your goals are, just keep working towards it, and it'll happen. It'll never happen when you want it to happen, but it'll happen. You know.
That's true.
But yeah, then after I moved here, one of my old bosses actually used to make club and techno music, and actually would play it in a club. And he was talking about it, and then that got me back into thinking, oh, let's just start making music again. I think it was like 2.5, it was almost like 3 years ago. Then I started making music again.
So like,
And then I'm very fortunate because this job has been able to provide all this equipment around me.
the way Udranightshade's describing your creative process, you sound like Michael Jackson. Because that's what
Those things first. Oh yeah, I do sing it. That's the sight singing dictation I was talking about. When you can sing something out loud and then write it down on paper. That's where it comes really useful.
So
Because there's a lot of times, at least for me, I don't know about for other producers, when they're making music, they'll hear stuff in their head. Like, how do you put what's in your head directly on the paper? Right.
I mean, I've talked to producers and I've seen them do stuff. They click buttons and then they click buttons on their keyboard. What I mean is they click. I'm gonna open up this motherfucker, and then they open up the keyboard. Or if they have the drum machine, they'll fuck with the drum machine or the pad machine, and they'll be like, I mean, that wasn't it. That was me. But like they'll do some shit like that, and then they'll chop up whatever samples they chop up or not. They'll take whatever thingies they take, and then they push more buttons, and then they tweak more knobs, and they tweak more plugins.
I wish I could do that.
And then the next thing you know,
it's what I'm saying. Like the more structured,
beats.
Yeah.
However,
go ahead.
None of that shit sounds like what you do, and what you do doesn't sound a damn thing like what they do. And there's like stuff in the way that you compose that I think is fucking riveting, to be honest with you, in ways where maybe some of the other people's stuff is. It's not like riveting in the same way, because I don't want to say other people's stuff isn't riveting. That's not very nice, but there's ways you do your transitions that I find fucking nice.
I appreciate that.
So like,
Yeah.
I feel that, and the way that you do your thing is cool. It creates style, and style is really important and highly underrated in music.
hmm Yeah, and that also goes with a lot of times you have to do a lot of referencing. Like if I'm trying to make a certain type of beat, I'll sit and reference songs and see like what is my song like. I'll reference like top charters and be like, what is my song missing? What off of this song that has 20 million plays? What am I missing? Right, and try and do stuff like that. And also lessons. I'm still taking lessons. I'm treating it like college. Like I get a lesson from Ivan Lefevre. I don't know if you guys know him. He used to stream a little bit, but now he's working for Nickelodeon and all these other plays. And I think he actually has a couple songs on HBO as well.
That's fire, actually.
But yeah, I take an hour lesson from him once a month, and basically we talk about producing, sound quality, and production on my music, which is basically if you don't have sound quality, you're not going to compete with what's out there. Your sounds need to be banging.
You know,
It may be good,
hold on.
but yeah.
Everybody says that to me. And the worst sound quality I ever produced got me more organic love than the best sound quality I ever produced. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I could never sell that shit. But organically, there's a whole mixtape game people kind of ignore from a sound quality perspective. But I hear what you're saying, because when you have good headphones, right? This is what's actually, because when you have good headphones, bro, I can't even listen to this shit next to other shit. But when I have medium or worse headphones / earbuds, oh my God, I can't tell the difference. And then I was sitting there on this, like, because my girlfriend got me these wireless earbuds, these little fucking Sennheisers, and they come with this app. And I'm sitting there fucking around with the mix all by myself, destroying the mix, fixing the mix, whatever. And I'm like, damn, man, mixing is kind of weird when the whole world can just fuck up your whole mix on any fucking quality of speaker at the end of the day.
Yeah, and so that's why there's techniques like mid-range mixing or mono mixing. So you take the low end from like 500 down and like the top end from like, I don't know, about 5,000 up, and you just cut that out. So you're just listening to the mid-range, and then you set it on mono, and then you mix in that channel, because that's pretty much what headphones are doing, the cheap headphones or any cheap speaker. So you're pretty much, if you can get that to sound good, then it will sound good in all speakers. Because if you mix it the lowest quality and get that to sound good, it'll sound banging on the highest quality. And there's also tricks too, like putting your kick on mono and putting your bass on mono, because most headphones, cheap headphones, can't do that stereoization very well.
What do you consider to be then a cheap headphone? Because maybe your definition and mine are not the same, and I feel like we should listen to you more than Holden on what a cheap headphone is.
Well, I really couldn't tell you. If maybe like a $25 headphone, that's probably a cheap headphone. Or I know producers produce on Apple earbuds. I heard those are pretty cheap as well. They don't really give you a good system. Or I have speakers.
Like a couple $100, I think, if you buy them new.
Yeah, I've heard producers produce on earbuds, but they do the mid-range mono mixing on them. That technique. These aren't cheap, but like, I don't know, like those little speakers. I mean, they give you good sound, but then it's also, what's your sound card? Are you getting cheap sound, right? Which is like low quality. You're not hearing the highs. You're not hearing
the
airiness.
You're not ready for the follow. I got to follow.
What?
I got to follow.
Nice.
So you got to do that. Shout out for the follow thing.
Shout out for that follow. But yeah, anything that's not giving you true sound, and I think if you start, I've never owned a lot of headphones, so I can't really tell you how much in price, but it seems like the more you pay for something, the higher quality sound you get, But especially for us producers, we need to hear that air. You also need to hear that low end. We need to hear that true sound, right? And so in some speakers, it's like sometimes the highs are way too high in the speaker, and it's just for that speaker, right? So now you're turning all your highs down in your mix, but in actuality they shouldn't be, right? It's just your speaker type, all that matters.
Yo, this is why people need producer friends. Cause like I be a rapper and I do all kinds of vocal
Yeah.
stuff. And when I say I mix, I do not mix by you would not no never. I couldn't do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
I do some twist some knobs and hope it doesn't sound as ass as it did before.
That's mixing.
It's technically
As
mixing.
long as it sounds good, dude.
Good is
As long
so
as it sounds good,
relative.
it's like,
Good is so I am
well,
very
I
aware of how
guess.
low quality it sounds, but then again, 1980s punk sounds very low quality, and I still like it. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's aesthetic, but no, I plan on remake. One day I would like to just remaster my own shit because I never mastered it in the first place. So I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
it's really remastering at that point. But
Yeah.
but that's how I see that. But it was just interesting to me how, as much as a lot of people chase perfection in sound, I've had some of the best results in my career with some of the worst ass sounding fucking mixes in my life.
It's crazy. Some of my least favorite songs have the most plays. I'm like, why are you listening to this? This track's garbage. I just don't understand.
Yeah, I don't think music makers have any idea why non-music makers listen to music. Is my theory. I've been
Yeah.
trying to spend the last couple of years figuring that out, but my girlfriend was not a fan of my music for the longest time, and then I started trying to figure out what she listens to. And honestly, all she cares about is if she can fucking bop and dance and move her head to it, and like it doesn't go that much deeper than
Yeah.
that. And I'm like, huh, damn, have I
Give
overthought
them a
so
good.
much?
It's a good kick is all they need. Yeah, it's crazy. Because I think as artists we are overthinking it, and we're also hearing the song hundreds and hundreds of hours, and we get just sick and tired of it. And then we give it to a brand new ear. Like we never get the experience of someone listening to our song for the very first time. You know.
That's true, but like I noticed this thing with rappers because I don't know a lot about how producers are or guitarists are or other kind of because it's all kind of different communities and arguably different
Mhm.
personalities. Whatever role you end up taking shapes you a little bit in it, I think. And I noticed that rappers and particularly stand-up comics do the same thing. They perform for their own, and so
Yeah.
rappers hear shit in bars that like nobody else hears. And when I mean nobody else, I mean like none of my colleagues at work hear the cool shit. They just don't care. It's like they just don't want to see it or they don't have the
Hmm.
same passion or desire to like learn why some shit's dope. And so it's almost like if I ever want them to give a fuck about my music, I can't be worrying about some of the things I think are dope. I have to figure out what other people think are dope. And that has been like the biggest
Well,
challenge of my life lately.
I I think that's also because like you're so into that craft, right? So if you think of, let's say, me playing guitar, at once I started playing guitar, I would hear every single song differently because I would start hearing the guitar parts in the songs. Like, oh, he did this and he did that and he did that. Whereas if I would have never played guitar, I would have never noticed that because I wasn't, not doing guitar over and over. Or when I started learning some drum stuff, now I'm listening to drums differently, right? So I think we're in a different mindset where we're hearing stuff differently because we're just in that craft, and other people just want to hear something that they enjoy, right?
And nobody can
I think it's
control what
it's very
people
difficult to show
enjoy.
someone. Yeah, it's very difficult to show someone every intricate thing that you did. You know it because you've been doing that craft for so long, but you know, no one's gonna know that you played a G major 7 chord to an E sus. No, that chord change is so epic. Well, yeah,
Is it?
to me
Like,
or you, that's
no,
epic.
bro, I don't know what
But
that chord change means. Like, you could have just said any two
I
chords.
just I just said a random. I just said random chords. But I'm just for an example like that. The producer would be like, oh, that was such an epic change I did. But to the listener, it'd be like, oh, that sounded cool. You know.
Nah, I totally hear that. Cause like at the end of the day, like it's like a almost like an art of like sometimes it's about the skill of the music, right? And then I think that's like
Mm,
kind of just the creation process almost and like composition maybe. But like there's the composition shit, but then people want to listen to songs. And songs are fundamentally products.
yeah.
They're not necessarily the same thing as the compositional whatever's of just expressing art for the sake of it. I mean, yes, there's creating songs from the perspective of art and whatever, but like what people consume are products in the masses. They
Hmm.
don't really look at music like art, and most people don't treat it because music gets attached to memories via so many abstract and like different ways. And I find it like
Yeah.
it's super hard to put yourself in that space. But that's kind of like what you're doing though. You're quite like literally putting yourself in the space to kind of take what you do and place it into the world, into the bigger context with the syndication and things like that. So that's like super interesting that you're able to even think like that.
One of these days. I mean, like I say, you just gotta keep on pushing towards the goal, and eventually you'll reach it, right? Maybe one of these days I'll get something.
I mean, that's how I understand it. Is if you just keep pushing and I guess strategically making choices towards optimizing, not
Yeah,
necessarily your product, but the
as long as you're
approach.
having fun.
Like,
Yeah, as long as you're having fun. That's all it is.
so like,
That's what life is, having fun.
how did you end up getting into Twitch?
I actually started streaming video games probably about 4 or 5 years ago. I was a video game streamer. And then once I started picking music back up again, I was like, oh, I should start streaming my music making. And then I don't know, it just kind of naturally just flipped. It's very interesting. And it's funny, most of my followers, I think about half my followers now on my channel were from my video game era.
So like, what kind of games were you playing back then?
Uh, I think I was just trying to hit something. I think I was just trying to play every game, trying to just figure out what this whole streaming is. Like I didn't really know about how you have to maintain a category. I didn't know about any of that stuff, right? So I was just like just playing random games.
So you have to maintain a category, or
Yeah, I
like,
don't.
I don't know. Seems like now
So
they're okay with you flippy
for
flopping.
well, to build that community, to build streamers, you have to maintain a category. So if you're going to play one certain game, one, it can't be in a saturated market. So like, don't play Call of Duty on stream because everyone plays Call of Duty. No one's going to watch you. And then two, you should always maintain that game that you're playing, just because that's where you're building your community from. These people like watching this certain type of content, so that's where they're coming to watch that. And then eventually, in theory, I haven't done this. I never got it. Oh no, not Siri. In theory, uh, you can actually then flip the game that you play once you have a bigger community. At least that's what they say for video game streaming. But I mean, we're you and me at least are in the music category, kind of stuck here.
Nah, this one is in podcasting and what
Yeah,
is
and
it?
podcasts. Yeah,
Podcast and talk shows or whatever that category is.
talk
That
shows and podcasts.
because I mean I do that
Yeah,
and then I fuck around in music. I figured if I have to record vocals anyway, I may as well do it live, and then I'll be more disciplined about it.
yeah.
And so I do that. Not always. Sometimes I do it offline depending on how much time I have. But like, I'm gonna spend 2 hours sitting there in front of my computer just fucking hitting Control R and then sliding shit around. And there's
Might as well go
apparently people
live.
who like watching that shit, which to me is kind of weird, but they're like, it's like watching somebody do trick shots. And I'm like, I guess that gave me enough context to see why somebody would want to watch me do it. And I'm like, fair enough. Then, like, cool, let's run it. I mean, I was dabbling with ciphers and
Yeah.
shit, but then, like, local shit happened. I don't want to go into on cam, but, like, bringing it back is, like, something I would like to do, but with the right local
Hmm.
people, and it's complicated on that front. Not like it's a big issue, but literally there's like lockdowns and things like that, so it kind of got like hard to link up with people again. And I don't
Yeah.
know. I've tried other stuff. I feel like Jackbox seems to be like the flex for fun times with your people. And I tried a
Yep. It's a great
Jackbox,
community game.
and it seemed really fun.
What's crazy is these lockdowns kind of brought everyone together. Like, I don't think I'd be on Twitch and all this stuff and making all this music if I wasn't in lockdown. And I think it, especially during the first part of the lockdowns, I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm work from home now. So that gives me more time to make music because I don't have to now commute back and forth to work. It really opened up for a lot of people. I think it opened up a second career paths for people, or maybe not career paths, but a second path for people where they can maintain their job and now do something else, which is great.
Yes. I definitely think that's cool. Although, I'm going to have to go back to work 2 days a week because they're like, you have to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that doesn't sound awesome, but it also doesn't sound terrible. I have the weirdest mixes feelings to that. So,
Yeah.
but like, I don't know. Twitch has been an interesting experience. I do think, in a sense, it's like unlocked way different pivots in my career. I would argue, like it
Mm-hmm.
changed because Twitch is like now the focus of what I do in
Yeah.
terms of delivery of content, whereas YouTube is now an archive. Whereas prior to Twitch, I was thinking YouTube first, which is a really different way of doing everything. And it's way more
Yeah.
formal and it's not as fun, to
Mm-hmm.
be honest. But, like, I'm glad I know how to YouTube. I mean, I'm going to apply those skills and try to do the proper YouTube thing at some point. But, like, it's just trash the way YouTube's going and as a platform. Like, yeah, all the cool people are quitting and doing private stuff. YouTube ain't gonna be
Yeah.
good no more. So I don't know if I want to really
Well,
focus
what's
on
cool
it.
about Twitch is you're creating that content live, and if you do it properly, you don't need to do any editing, and then you just wait a little bit and put it up on YouTube.
Yeah, unless you.
Like, I see a lot of streamers that are just like, they got like a whole team behind them, swapping cameras, doing everything right, and then boom, they just upload the video up onto YouTube.
Yeah, mostly like my dude's main role with editing is timestamping, so that he goes through the
Yeah.
conversation and like tells me that between like 00 and like 0548 y'all talked about this, and like that's the biggest benefit. But he barely edits anything out, and usually if there is something to edit out, it's like we stopped and played music for like 20 minutes or 50, whatever, and it's super fucking easy
Yeah.
to delete that shit because you do want to get rid of your music for YouTube. They will wreck your life, or at least they will not. It will not let you make any money on that video.
Bro, if you just play music. Yeah, I guess the AdSense, they just turn that shit off, huh?
Yeah, it's I mean, like if it's your own music, you can get away with it. Like I've uploaded, cause like, I mean, but here's the thing: when I put my shit on DistroKid, I told them don't fuck with YouTube. So now nobody's claiming
Yeah.
my shit on YouTube, so I can put my music on YouTube. But if you click that button and say claim the shit on DistroKid or whatever one you use, then YouTube is gonna look for it and take the money
Really?
to give you back your clip back in your, because they're taking the money for you, but whoever you're working with is taking a clip. So it's like,
Oh, dude, I'm gonna turn that off.
but like, and in a sense, it's like shitty as a this type of creator, but it's kind of like
Mhm.
good as the other as a musician, I know people fucking hate copyright and shit, but I'm like, wait till somebody steals your song and makes $1 million. I bet you're gonna feel different about
Yeah.
copyright law. Like, I don't think YouTube's system's perfect. I fucking super dislike how the appeal system works and multiple things like that. But I mean, end of the day, it's designed to flag fingerprinted music, like in that regard, to whoever. And if we
Yeah.
as musicians choose to fingerprint our music, then it's literally just doing what we asked it to do when we did that side of it.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. I think I'm gonna uncheck that button on my DistroKid.
Like it's an upsell at the bottom, and like, cause it's not even like one of the main
Yeah.
features. It's like one of the extra options, and I was like, I don't want that shit.
Yeah.
I want to upload my shit to YouTube. But like, other, yeah.
That's a good point right there.
But like, Twitch be like not there yet. They're still cool. They might not stay cool, but they're still cool for now. I feel like it's not lost on them that protecting the rights of independent music creators is probably like in their benefit right now. So it's going to be a good couple of years before copyright Armageddon's rain down. I think you as a reaction person is in more of a threat than you as a music creator. I don't mean to diminish you as a reaction person. It's just the genre would be reaction.
Yeah, I think it's something that you gotta talk like 50% or something over the video and they won't catch it. No. Like when I do my live sets, I haven't been DMCA'd for a while now, and I'm playing like Missy Elliott music, but I'm playing like Missy Elliott with something underneath it. So I'm like combining two songs. I think that's why I get away with it when I do my live sets.
I don't know how it works with the DJs. I think they let DJs go. I think all the majors were like, fuck that, DJs do their thing. That's my theory.
Some of my stream does get muted if I leave a song going for too long.
That shit happens to me too. But muting's fine. I'm like, I don't give a fuck if it gets muted. But like, I mean, it's shady for like the VOD, I suppose. But like from a legal perspective, it doesn't really have any ramifications, and there's no punishment on the channel. But like, where I see it being problematic is like one day you cover somebody's shit, or I stream somebody's shit. And it's not even, and then it gets picked up and some DMCA happens or whatever. But like, I don't know if the likelihood of that shit happening in 60 days is not high, but it's more with, I think we're going to get in trouble is with the fucking rampant use of people watching movies and shit. I don't know if you've noticed this, but in the just chattings, I saw this girl watch the whole Hobbit trilogy on stream. I'm like, that's gotta be.
I don't think you can do that.
They did do it. They just.
How many views?
I don't know. She's like a young. How many? 20.
Like 1,000 people watching.
No, it's low end people doing this shit. It's people with like 20 to 30 fucking viewers. So it's like they're gonna fuck it up for everybody. Cause at some point somebody's gonna realize that like shit tons of people are just sitting there watching YouTube and shit on like stream. Yeah. But I just don't think major labels care if you DJ their shit. And that's actually a thing. People watch people sleep on Twitch. That same
people watch people sleep. Yeah.
That same person I was talking about with The Hobbit was doing a 48-hour stream. That's how come I was checking this shit. I was like, you're doing a 48-hour stream. And they just slept on stream. They just left the camera running.
That sounds like a good time.
And she's like there sleeping, and she like left a bunch of movies and shit playing while she was sleeping too. And I'm like, fuck my life.
If I was going to do a sleep stream, I would have it to where if you were to donate or something, then something in my room would go off to torment me.
I mean, you'd make a lot of money on that.
I would do it that way.
But like, you could also just not do it. And people would still probably watch you sleep. You just make less money. Like, but I don't
know. We ask Udra if Udra would watch me sleep.
That's true. Okay, so one time, because I was trying to pitch my girlfriend on Twitch back in the day. My girlfriend is your lady friend, Bonnie.
Yeah.
I was trying to like pitch her back in the day because like it was hard to explain how Twitch was about to change from gaming into new shit, right? And I was trying to like describe this.
Yeah.
And I said at this point in time,
big switch.
I'm like, at this point in time, I bet we could find anything you think of, and we'll fucking like pull it up. Granted,
Mm-hmm.
I since found out
Yeah.
the search engine is trash, and I should not have been so cocky. But she said, find me somebody studying. And we found a fucking person studying on Twitch. They were just reading their fucking textbook studying on Twitch. And I'm like,
Those people are.
that was a real thing, man. And I was really like, okay, no. I mean, I don't know if that's hot, but it just goes to show the realms. But yo, I realize you can do so much on Twitch now. I've walked up the street and gotten 7 people to
Mm-hmm.
watch me on lives. I'm like, listen, if 7 people will watch you walk up the street, in theory, if you're doing shit right, 100 people will watch you walk up the street.
Yeah, you see those. I actually like watching these streams where this guy's like biking in Tokyo or something like that, and he has his camera in front of his bike. It's so cool to watch him just bike ride through Tokyo at night, and he gets like thousands of people watching him.
Yo, that's
It's crazy.
fire. I wonder, like, I didn't even know, like, I was thinking about, like, how you could, like, film cycled footage, because, like, I cycle in, like, Montreal. I don't know. Maybe people want to see Montreal. Like,
Yeah,
to me, it's whatever.
just
But
GoPro and Twitch.
can you sync the Go? Yo, what's up,
GoPro and
Soyisreal?
Twitch.
Does the Go?
Oh, dude, Soy's in chat.
Yo, Soy
What is
never
up,
comes to
Soy?
chat. You're fucking special. If Soy be
Soy's one of
coming
my
in.
homies.
Yeah,
Soy's a homie right there.
yeah, Soy's fucking dope. This is
How many homies do we have? I saw You're Not Ready.
You're Not Ready's
I
here.
saw
Udra's
Udra,
here.
of course.
Ismail's here. Soy just popped in.
Hella homies.
Somebody else was here before,
is
but I
Soy
forgot who
real?
it is. Yeah, I fucks with Soyisreal. That dude is like,
Soy's here to learn about Fel. We kind of went through my life already.
alright. So that's the way we summarize. Fell sang in the choir, and it was like Survivor boot camp. I mean, picture like
Mhm.
Survivor, the television show, meets a bunch of children in choir, meets a
Yeah.
dude who made millions of dollars off this shit. Boom. That's the early part of his phase. He was fucking with that.
He made so much money.
The next part of the phase is he moves to Nevada and discovers a passion for game editing and such. And he game edits a lot, which turns out to be hella lucrative down the line. And when I say game edit, I mean level designers. I mean custom maps. I mean modding that motherfucker. He was up there running that for a quick minute. Then after that, he decided to meet the people in real life and spend 5 years doing sociological explorations amongst the realms of the people who would go on to consume his music of right now to understand their psychology. And he invested heavily into doing something that most artists never really do. Well, he described it really differently. That's what I heard. And then after that, he started to busk and do hella shit where he played guitar for food. And they wrote a song for an old lady, and the old lady wanted to fuck his friend. And they just bust around for a minute and did their thing.
She had a peg leg. I swear she had a fake leg because she was like kind of got the little slide on that one leg. Dude, that's a fake leg.
That's amazing. Yo, Soy's amazing in chat. I'm like looking at this. I'm like, I don't understand what the fuck he's talking about, but I feel like you know what the fuck he's talking about.
Soy's awesome. Soy's a homie.
Soy is awesome. He just streams at times when I'm rarely free to watch him stream. But like, I think Soy is.
He streams whenever I stream.
Is one of those dudes where I like legitimately, I like anytime I popped into his stream, it's a cool vibe. I respects the man's hustle. I mean, he came up with an interview show called Bridge the Gap. I came up with an interview show called Bridge the Gap. He wears toques. I wear toques. Like, what can I say? I like this guy. It is what it is. But not like. He's legit, and everybody talks highly of him. That's how I judge people, to be honest with you. It depends on what people say about you behind your back. And he's one of those dudes that people really speak well of behind his back with great regularly, you should know, like multiple. So that's kind of like a co-sign to me that this dude is legitimate.
That dude is legit.
That's about all I got on Soy, because frankly, he streams often when I'm streaming. / I don't think we're in a time zone where like he goes live where it's like late for me or something. Might be wrong on that.
Yeah.
But like, stills.
He goes on when I'm streaming. Then I go rate him.
When do you stream?
6 p.m. Eastern. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's my time. And then every other Friday I do a live set.
Yeah, that's
which is
totally
pretty
why. If
cool.
you all stream then, that's why I never see you, because that's basically when I stream. I go live on Monday,
Yeah.
Wednesday, and lately Friday, specifically around the 6 to
And
like
then
9 p.m. time.
and then this Friday, which is New Year's Eve, I'm gonna be doing a New Year's Eve live set. We're gonna be doing some bass house music on the racks. I got a fan on it, but on the good old DJ racks.
That's fire. One of your partier streams, if I remember.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. So, like, when did you? Okay, see, it was a couple years ago you started doing Twitch. Then, more seriously.
Yeah,
Well,
and
with
actually, I
music.
started like really making music seriously when I started doing Twitch. Like I was making music off and on, but then I just pretty much hammered into it as soon as I started doing Twitch, and especially when COVID hit, because I was like, well, I don't have to drive to work anymore. I just work from home. So I was like, work music, work music, work music, and it's been like that ever since. Now I add games now every now and then because I realize that you should take a break and not burn yourself out. You know, you want to have fun with what you're doing. You don't want to make it a job unless you're getting paid for it.
Yeah, I hear you on
Yeah.
that. I just saw the engagement on games is ridiculous, and it wasn't like. Okay, it wasn't like I was looking for the engagement on games like from a stat marketing perspective. No,
Yeah.
it was like when motherfuckers were playing Jackbox, I was spending 30 minutes in their fucking stream and I hated myself because then I was not doing what I was supposed to be doing and I was finding it very engaging. And I was like, oh, say
Yeah.
word, this shit could be real. Or the marbles one. I never spent 30
Yeah.
minutes doing the stupid marbles one. But I would spend 3 to 5 minutes playing this random ass game where marbles chase each other and shit. And it made me realize,
Mm-hmm.
like, what are y'all doing
Marbles
then?
on stream.
Y'all are just talking. You're like, because like in a show like this, like, I mean, as much as the chat's going, I'm thinking about the YouTube video after. I'm thinking about the fact
Yeah.
that it will be on a podcasting after. And like, you know, you gotta like fit everything in for the non-visual elements of people that can't be like part of the live experience. But a stream like that is like, yo, you could just fucking hit pause and blah 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 for whatever. You know, it's all good in the hood and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, those community streams, I've also noticed like the people that are watching videos and stuff like that, those streams are doing really well because it's just hanging out with your community. We're just bullshitting. We're going to watch a video. We're going to play some games. Like, door just open for no reason.
Maybe there's a
Ghost.
ghost.
Oh, my cat was leaving. All right.
That's unacceptable. That's kind of like a ghost, right? Because cats be like,
Yeah.
I'm a ghost, and then knock some shit over.
Yeah. I'm just going to go.
Oh, say where? There's another cat on your bed that, like, I swear it just moved and it was
Oh,
camouflaged the
yeah.
whole stream.
That's Milo.
Yo, what's up?
So I rescued two cats. I think it was last November. I rescued them from a shelter. They're both brother and sister, and you could definitely tell.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We have two cats here that are definitely siblings, and their fur patterns are radically different. But like, you look at their faces, and you can see like it's the same face. Like they are clearly related, but their fur super different. Like one is like fluffy and adorable, and Instagram likes her more, and the other one Instagram likes less. But she has a pink nose, and she's like,
dang it, Instagram.
I mean, yo, Instagram like what it like. What can I say?
Yeah. Yeah, this one, you saw him, and then his sister is like all black, and he's got like this matted fur, and she's got the super soft fur.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like just different.
The female has the nice fur.
But they both like sisters in this case. But that's crazy how cats can be like from the same litter. I am surprised at how much I'm interested in this topic. But it's wild how cats can be, because I'm not really a huge cat person. It's just you live with cats for half a decade, and then you can't help it, all right? They cats. They just do cat shit.
What's that one brainworm that they put in your head?
Toxoplasmosis is the cause of it. That's what the brainworm does. It's toxoplasmosis. That's when
all us cat owners have that brainworm.
And they'd be like saying how like it's like cat poop and the parasite, and people be like, no, it's not possible. So I googled it, and it's super possible in the rarest of conditions. It has to get from the cat poop to your pork or some shit you're cooking.
Start snorting some cat poop, maybe.
And anyway, so that's a real thing. Y'all can Google it. We're not just talking random. It's like Cats apparently like have it built into them, this defense mechanism to make their owners love them more, and it's like this subtle brainwashing. So the longer you're with your cat, the more you love your fucking cat. And that's a
Take
real
them out
thing.
now before it's too late.
Nah, I like them because then they get old and they just like lie there and they lose all of their anger. The older they get, they're
Yeah.
just like calmer and are like, can't be bothered to move. Just pet me and
Yeah.
go.
Right now, I got a couple of teenagers. Yeah. Very rambunctious.
So like, so basically, you spent the last couple of years then producing
Mhm.
music on Twitch and playing games
Yep.
here and there, and like, is it mostly electronic music that you do? Like, is that your main focus now?
Yeah, I do a lot of. I try and go to the club genre because I think that's where a lot of the money's at, and I really enjoy. I've actually grew up with club music, or not grew up, but like I said, in my party times, my friend got me really interested in the club music and stuff like that, and ever since then, I've really liked it. So yeah, I make a lot of club music. I've been making pop recently. I don't make pop as often, but I'm trying to hit one of those charters. So every now and then I'll make a pop song to try and see if, you know, and then you gotta see if you can make a charter, you know, like sell yourself out for a little bit. But I like making pop too.
I mean,
But yeah, anyways, it's mostly club music, electro pop, pop, hard house.
and so basically, do you release it mostly like? That's funny. Fail yourself out. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, fill yourself out.
I don't know if it's really like selling out. I mean, you like it clearly because you did
Yeah,
your market research phase. Um,
yeah, and pop music, like when you look at a lot of the songs that are being played on television and stuff like that, that's kind of the genre that's being played. So every now and then I'll go into that genre just to dabble in it, and you know, eventually something will hit. You know,
but
just
even
gotta.
beyond that, like it's a genre that you could just go DJ your own events at and shit later on,
Yeah.
which is a whole like all like we're talking maybe
Mm-hmm.
in the post days, in the post whatever it
Yeah, a couple
happens
years from
days.
now, I might have enough content to DJ my entire set. What I heard right now is when you DJ, what you want to do is you want to sprinkle in your music. So
Yeah,
you play a lot of the charters, and then maybe four of the songs are yours in that set out of like 40. You know,
but like still, if you're at a hot spot and people be vibing to your shit, that could be all it takes. That could be
yeah.
just as hot as like fucking getting how do you go about getting syndicated? Like how does that work? Because like you're again like this guy's trying to get syndicated and whatnot. So like how did that? I mean, I assume the thought got put in your mind due to the virtue of watching your homeboy actually pick songs for games and getting
Yeah.
racks off of that. But like, how does one actually pursue that route? Like, do you go through agencies? Do you just like,
So according to what my friend says, like he has a couple people that I guess knows some agencies or something like that. I really don't know how that works, but from my understanding is you just send your music out there. So there'll be some companies that are like, hey, we need a song for our ending credits for this one episode. And then you'll get like they'll get probably get like 20 people sending in songs, right? And then they'll pick. So that's basically how I understand how that stuff works. Um, until eventually you start building a relationship with them, and then they'll just go to you. Um, well, I don't know. I wish I knew. I wish I was syndicated. I want to make some money.
man, I never thought about syndication till a month ago. So I just think it's
Yeah.
interesting you brought it up. But like,
And so I know for video games, there are a lot of blogs and forums out there, like I forget what it's called, but where on like LinkedIn and stuff like that, where companies will put out flyers or whatever, being like, "Hey, we're looking for audio musician for our game or whatever," you know, and then you could get hired that way because it's a lot of these companies, especially I think on the music side, it's not really all about if you have a lot of experience in the field. It's about how is your sound, and can you like complete a project, right? So I think that's all they're looking for on that music side.
But it's kind of different still than like writing for like a regular audience. I guess what I'm
Yeah,
saying is writing for live. I think most of us when we go into this we write for like live. We picture the
yeah,
live environment and that, but this is just like a completely different ball game because now you're writing
yeah.
for that perfect scene in episode 3 when Charlene's overdosing or some shit like that.
Well, I think a lot of times the music is actually just made separate from that. Because I know my friend who's placed a lot of songs, like he'll just make a song and send it in. He's never seen the episode or anything. He's just like sometimes given a vocalist or something, and then he makes a song around it. Or like, I don't really think a lot of that is thought of as the producer. Maybe in the video editing side, they do that. They think about that,
Now I'm
like how
thinking
can we
about
edit
it
this
more
video to
as
go
like
to the song?
a songwriter. Cause
Hmm.
like when you're
Oh
right,
yeah,
cause when you're writing the song, right? Like, yo, like I realized that there's shit that's for headphones, like people who be putting on headphones and just want to bop to your shit on the bus or in their
yeah,
room or whatever. Then there's car music, and car music is not the same as headphones music. They don't have the same
right.
mix. They don't have the same feel. Then there's club music. Then there's I don't know stoner music. There's drunk music.
Hmm.
There's Molly music. There's whatever musics. And there's like a lot more musics out there. Don't even get me wrong. To me, this is a very wide spectrum of sounds and vibes and things that people go for. And so I just think that like when you're looking at TV, like I wonder if like you have to be more strategic with how you write the song with the end because like I heard somebody be like, yo, nobody even listens to tracks more than 4 minutes in this one call I did.
Yeah,
I don't have any experience. I did one fucking call, but this specialist lady fucking places songs in TV shows I watched. So I was like, oh, I watched the TV show you're looking for fucking shows for the next season on. That's cool. There's another season
yeah.
coming. So like I was like, say words. So you can't be making long ass songs if you want to be on a TV show. Because if you think about it, who the fuck's putting 4.5 minute scenes?
Hmm.
Shit like that.
Yeah. It's like 1.5 minute to two and a half. But also, like most of that music is pop. Like that's a different genre altogether. Like pop, some pop is headbang, like club pop, but a lot of that like pop or long ballad type stuff. Because you think some shows are just like ballads or like really long type, not really beaty type beats. So it's a completely different mindset you have to be in, and you got to. A lot of times, there's a lot of real instruments involved. Like I'll see my teacher, he'll pick up the bass and play it, and that's his loop. And then he'll pick up the guitar and play it, and then he'll get his wife to come in and sing it. You know, like it's all humanized instruments. It's this whole different ball game.
Do you do that?
Like pop and club is different.
Do you know how to do that with like just picking up your guitar and then that's your like
Yeah,
fucking
so
thing?
I've been wanting to do it for my music, but my sound card, I'm using a Focusrite. I don't think it's like given the quality of sound that I'm looking for, so I'm gonna be waiting until I upgrade my sound card to do that.
I feel
But
you.
yeah, I mean that's why I got the bass and guitar back there. Although that's a jazz guitar, so that gives like more lower tones. I need a solid body guitar, but yeah, that's why I have those back there.
Wait, what?
I just
What's
need
the difference between a jazz and solid bodies like the regular
so a
ass rock
jazz
one?
guitar is yeah, jazz guitar.
Yo, let's do it. Demo
Let me get
time.
unhooked.
That's
I'm
okay.
not gonna play.
No,
Maybe
but
I'll
like
play
you
a
can
little bit.
pick it up. So demo time.
Yeah.
Woo!
So we got the jazz guitar right here. So if you see in here, it's hollow,
Okay.
right? So it gives you that a nice hollow tone. Is this in tune? It's not in tune.
That's okay. You're
You wouldn't be able to
demonstrating.
tell unless it was like but so and you see a lot of electric guitars, they aren't hollow, right?
Right.
They just are a flat, solid body, which gives you a higher tone. And this, because it has a lot of reverberation in it, this is a Epiphone dot. This is specifically a jazz guitar, but it gives that a lower tone. So one, I was like, well, this guitar doesn't really fit for the songs that I'm making. And two, the quality of the sound, because you got the quality of the sound come in, it depends on your soundboard. It just wasn't cutting it for me, so I'm gonna wait until I upgrade some of my stuff.
Which
But I
focus
really
rate do
want
you
to do
have?
that. The 4i4,
Nice.
which is decent, but I'm
Do you have the second
looking
gen or the
for.
third gen? Y'all might not know about
Uh,
this, but I'm curious to know if the
I
third
don't
gen
know.
is better because I have a second gen 18i8,
Maybe.
and I
Are you having
wonder.
the same issues?
Um, I have latency issues that
Yeah.
bother me with Reaper and shit.
Yeah.
So like, I have to like when I record vocals, I have to slide them after because no matter what, like they're gonna be off a little bit, and sometimes it's less bad than with others, but like I feel like the whole thing has latency and I just learned how to work around it. But
That was really bugging me too, because I was trying to play live and I can't play live with latency.
I mean,
You know?
thankfully I can correct the one vocal track to the one
Yeah.
beat track in OBS and it's good enough for like me to sound kind of on. But like I just kind of cuz you go crazy. You're like am I actually like rapping on beat anymore? I don't even know.
Yeah. I that's why I stopped. I spent probably about a month and a few $100s trying to get it to sound good. And I was like, I gotta stop. I'm gonna my audio friend from work was like, yeah, it's your sound card. You should get this. And then he get point I forget what it was, but he points me to like $1,000 sound card. I'm like, I should get that at some point.
That's always the moves, eh? That's why I'm like try not to stress too much audio quality at the max. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
My room, it's not like as soundproof as others. If I had better gear, you
Mm-hmm.
might hear all the bad I don't want you to hear. Like one
Yeah.
time I was at work and I used to do voiceover shit for them. And anytime a lady went to the washroom and they flushed the toilet, that
Oh
shit was
shit.
getting picked up on my take. And then I got to start working from home one day a week prior to COVID because of this, believe it or not, because I was like trying to record vocals and for 30 minutes it seemed like the whole building had to go at the same time and I got like and then I told my boss like I can't do this. It's not realistic, bro. Like I
Yeah.
can't be dependent on if somebody needs to use the washroom. So I ended up getting sent working from home, so I built this shit up even like partly for work, partly for myself so I could go do that shit, but yeah, no. It's kind of a blessing to have low end gear sometimes.
Yeah. Then you don't hear everything.
At least if you're doing vocal work. I'm not a
Yeah.
producer, so like don't listen to me for production advice. Listen to me for non-production advice. Although it's pretty good advice for podcasting, actually. Like don't
Mm-hmm.
worry about perfection if you're a podcaster or if you're a YouTuber or if you're a video creator like that. Like perfection's unnecessary. Just grow over time is the main formula. But like
Especially with producing your main focus is sound quality.
yeah.
And you need to hear everything. You can't get fake sounds. Like you can't have like low end that's not there. Like if you don't have good sound treatment, like I need sound treatment. I'm sitting in a corner. I'm probably getting super low end, so I actually have to account for that in my mixes. Whereas
Hmm.
if I was in a proper studio, I'd be hearing all that sound properly and not just reverberating off of everything.
Yo, packing blankets are fucking wonderful, my guy. They
Yeah.
look like ass, but they do a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna be moving here in a few months into a new house, and just got approved. By the way, got approved for gonna be buying a new house in March.
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna be
super
building up
cool.
my studio. Yeah, I got approved today. It's some exciting news. So yeah, gonna be building up my new studio. My friend from work's gonna help me. I'm like, just come over and
That
make my studio like you'd make your studio. I'll buy you a 6-pack.
that's amazing. No, but to like have your own space, like you just cop in a house,
Yeah,
like that's big.
yeah.
And all whatever. I don't care who you is. That's amazing news, dude.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because what I want to do on one of my walls is do like some sort of a green screen from top to bottom, and then on the floor, our house have green, and then I want to put my DJ racks on there, and then stream there, and I'll be like DJing in space. I think that'll be cool.
That'd be awesome. That's fire. So basically, like, you're gonna get the new house. What's gonna come next for you? Like, what is some of your like bigger goals for 2022?
I want to get in clubs. I definitely want to start playing music in clubs. Doesn't have to be my music. I just want to play music in clubs and then start sprinkling in my music. And then I don't think 2022, maybe like 2025, 2030, maybe. I want to start playing clubs with my own music and doing my own shows, you know?
I'm sure you can
Bring
get.
Udra along with me.
Yeah, I know you can get to
On
your
my
own
tour
shows
bus.
quicker. Yo, if you keep running this Twitch shit, and you keep like
Yeah.
kind of come back, cause yo, you can do like IRL, like, I mean, it would still be a music stream, but you can still do DJ sets from like live in whatever fucking location you're at, right? But
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, if I'm playing in a club, if they'll allow it, I'm gonna turn on my phone and I'm gonna stream to my Twitch.
I have homeboys
You
that
know,
be like actually running that right now as they like test it out. Like dude like literally took his cell phone, and it's not the most amazing cell phone is what I learned, and just popped it down next to his fucking thing, and that was the whole stream. And you know what?
yeah,
I found it super engaging because you could like see the waitresses and shit in the back, and you're like,
yeah,
especially for like, I don't know, in my city, it's like you're not being encouraged to go outside right now.
yeah. It is super interesting to see environments. I think that's actually where Twitch might be going. Because you have these like reaction streams, you have people watching music videos, you have people like going out to restaurants. Those are streams that get like thousands of views, and it's crazy.
Hold up,
When I
going to
look at like all these
restaurants?
streams are, or just like going out in public or anything, those public streams, it seems like those are the ones that get tons of views. People just want to watch other people walk around, you know. That one Tokyo bike stream, I think, is like 10,000 views or something like that. And all he's doing is riding a bike in downtown Tokyo at night.
But he's also in downtown Tokyo. That's the part that's like,
He's also in
because
downtown
like that's the
Tokyo.
thing
Yeah.
where it's like, yo, I know I could get people giving a shit about me walking up Third Avenue in New York City. I don't know if I
Yeah.
could get them to give a shit about me walking up my local random street in NDG in Montreal to the same degree. Because let's be real, it's just kind of brown buildings and shit.
Yeah.
So I do think there's, but the restaurant thing, now that I actually started fucking with that kind of food content a little bit. Like we started a little show called hashtag King of the No Name because that's what we call our shit, the no name brands when it's not the
Mm-hmm.
main brands, right? And so we copped a bunch of regular rippled chips, and we did a blind taste test of which one was our favorite of these regular rippled
Yeah,
chips.
people love that stuff.
And I'm like, because it's also like, if you live in Montreal and these are your local brands, now you can have a sense of which ones are the greasy chips and which ones are the
Mm-hmm.
different chips. And it ended up being like better than I thought in terms of the
Mm-hmm.
helpfulness of it. And I'm like, say a word, just eating chips on fucking stream. Like I've done some all kinds of pretentious shit to try to get attention with my music career. And then I never
Yeah.
thought that the coolest shit ever would be like eating chips. Like,
Food. I see some streamers, they'll just go to a bar, they place your camera down, and they're just talking and drinking, but hey, every $20 donated, I'll take a shot or whatever, doing interactions, stuff like that.
that's wild. My homeboy
Like
was trying
people
that
love
out.
that stuff.
What kind of,
Yeah.
so outside of DJing in like real life locations, what other kinds of IRL streams would you do?
If I was to do another stream, I've been thinking about doing a cooking show because I really like to cook, and I'm thinking about I'm probably gonna do this one time on my stream, but I want to do a GoPro perspective of cooking. So my perspective, because yeah, I've never seen a cooking show where it's like the cook's perspective of cooking. It's always like
Mm,
staged cameras.
you're
I
right.
think that'd be
Or
cool.
like
And
an,
we'll make like, okay, we're gonna make beef Wellington, or we're gonna do duck, or we're gonna do, something. You know, I love to cook. I think that'd be a really cool stream.
I'd watch that. I don't know if I'd watch it religiously, but I'd definitely watch that here and there. Cooking shows are like kind of interesting because like I'm pretty trash at it. So I get to live vicariously through you making
Yeah.
duck that, like, half the reason I don't want to buy the duck is because it's not cheap. And if I fuck up the duck, that's like wasted money.
Mm.
That's pretty cool.
I might just do it because I do a lot of like I still go to my roots. So I still do like we're just getting some hamburger and we're grabbing stuff out of our fridge and we're gonna combine something to make something tasty. That type of cooking is really, really fun for me as well.
Bro, that sounds
Be
really fun
interesting.
to
Maybe I will
watch.
do it.
Yo, watching you just pull shit out your fridge and make shit, bro, that's like some Gordon Ramsay
Better have a
motherfucking crap.
better have a clean fucking fridge, tell you that.
Yo, the leftover challenge. Bro, you could do that shit. I watched it.
Oh yeah, leftover challenge. That's a good idea.
And then just like, yo, what the fuck can I
Oh
feed
shit.
myself? Because, yo, sometimes it'd be hard. You'd be sitting there and you're like, I don't really know what to do. I mean, I can make boring shit, but I don't know how to make tasty shit out of what I have left over there.
Well, the Italians are actually known for using their leftovers in their dishes. They would make a meal, then the next day they would recook that meal into something different. So let's say one day they'd make something, then the next day they would turn that into ravioli. They'd make pasta dough and then put their leftovers inside a ravioli and cook that.
Mm,
The Italians are very well known for leftover cooking.
that's
Now
actually,
I'm hungry.
it's happened sometimes. When we talk about, there was a show on Netflix where they did that, where they particularly took that. That's cool. So I like the way you look at it. And even in a cooking sphere, you could do that in the metaverse. Like,
Mm-hmm.
people undersell how, like, the metaverse could just end up being a flat screen TV watching you do your cooking on a GoPro.
Mm.
At least,
Yeah, you would need
nah, you do. Because, yo, because
some
check
sort of
it.
like 3D camera,
No, but
360
you don't
camera or
have,
something.
because you don't even have to go that hard. Right now, where we're at with it, like, I was in Altspace VR because some rapper in New York, I ran into him in the world of Zooms and shit. And he was like launching a VR show. So he threw the first hip hop virtual reality gated, you gotta buy tickets concert, which I didn't go to
Okay.
because life was happening for me. But I did end up going to
Was that,
some
yeah.
Jam in the Park because they're like heavy on alt space VR. And what happened is they're all like in the park with the avatars. I ran into Grandmaster Kaz, the like DJ dude from back in the day, and we had a little
Mm-hmm.
fist bump. I thought that was cool. But like, what they were doing though was streaming the Twitch feed, fucking
Yep.
directly to All Space VR, and everybody was
Yeah.
content with
That's what
that
they're
shit.
doing.
So like,
Mm-hmm.
that's clearly the next 2 years of this shit, you know, like, so you could just run everything to VR. And that's where I'm like gonna try to figure it out is like how to bridge that gap, cause like as much as it's like Twitch is cool, Twitch is time stamped cool.
Yeah. No, I think the best way to do it is not only with VR, but also use a platform that accepts non-VR as well. Because not everyone has a VR headset but wants to join
But
in
that's
on the
why All Space is
experience.
dope. It has a
Yeah.
desktop client, so anybody.
Yeah.
I don't think mobile might not have a mobile, but it definitely has a desktop. So you don't need. Because I was trying to figure out a solution for rappers. I'm not gonna get 20 rappers to show up with fucking VR headsets,
Yeah.
bro. That's never gonna happen. So if I could find a way to get them to rap in VR, they don't need the VR, and it's really for the VR
Right.
audience.
It's just for the audience. Yeah.
That's kind of what I want to. That's kind of what I was
Yeah.
doing at the beginning of the lockdown, and then I gave up because I couldn't figure out how to deal with sound enough, and so I just moved on to Twitch and got. Well, Twitch is good. Once you're in Twitch, you just kind of stick with it, you know.
Yeah, I think the best way they're doing it right now is like you said, where they stream just basically a website onto a screen in VR. So you're streaming their Twitch feed. I think it's the best way to do it for now. But then again, you could have like because if you're in a 3D environment in PC, you could have whatever special effects you want triggered whenever you want. You can time them to your music. I've seen Dead Mouse or Joel work on stuff. I think it's his own program, but it runs through Ableton into visual effects or whatever. And so in Ableton, he has like these certain tags. So for example, every time a kick happens, do this visually. Every time this happens, do this visually. And so combining those two, and then you put it into a fucking experience, you can have an entire live show pretty much that's
So like I can
built.
conceptualize that. Personally, I don't know how
Yeah.
to do that. I don't know
Yeah.
how
I
to.
mean, that takes programming.
So
It
let
takes
me reframe
people.
that. I don't know how to do that on the budgets that anybody I know can
Yeah,
afford.
no, it's impossible.
Cause like that's why I'm trying to think of bougier shit. Like leverage existing
Yeah.
tech and like, cause yo, I look at it like this: 5 years down the line, whoever's got traffic in VR is just gonna be the ones that those people are hollering at, and I want to be hollered at
Mm,
by those people.
yeah, you gotta catch them before they're popular. You know, you got to be the ones that've been there from the beginning, because then you're the one from the beginning. Yeah, I'm still looking for a meta space because I want to do live shows as well. My friend
Bro,
and I.
Outspace VR is ready for you. It's like set up, ready to go.
Space.
Nah, I did a lot of research into Outspace. I had some,
Is it alt space
yeah,
or
Outspace VR, and you
alt
don't even need
space?
VR for it. But it's kind of linear if you have it. Do you have a VR?
I'll look that up later. I do.
Yeah,
I'm actually kind of burnt out on VR because I made a game, Killing Floor Incursion. Oh, I just outed myself.
fair.
I made Killing Floor Incursion, and I spent 8 hours a day in VR for 1.5 years.
That's wild. I don't know what that is, to be honest, but now I'm gonna be a little curious and check it out.
Yeah, check out Killing Floor Incursion. It's the game I made in VR. I was one of the main level designers for that game.
That's actually wild. I'm a geek like that. It really hits me in an excitement to hear that. I'll check it out. But I got more fast because yo, I never really got into VR gaming. I'll be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I caught my Rift S because I was like, I want to stream and make, well, not stream. I wanted to make
Right.
content, and I did. I made a bunch of YouTube videos related to VR content for a quick minute. But then my Oculus remotes broke, and that took 3 months to resolve.
Oh, Jesus.
Well,
Okay.
I had to because I
Thank
didn't.
you, Oculus.
So I didn't know that the
Thank you, Zuckerberg.
solution was put an elastic band on your battery. I didn't know that that was the solution. I contacted
How to
Oculus.
hold it in place?
Yeah. I didn't know that
Yeah.
that was going to solve all my problems. I went through Oculus support, and it took them 3 months for them to receive my things, get my shit. But not even then. It was like a month before I even shipped my shit. I got new remotes, I suppose, so I guess that's kind of cool. But I didn't need new remotes. And then I still had the problem. And then I found an internet forum where, at that point, enough people had experienced the issue that the solution was available. And since then, you really, because I do like boxing and shit in VR. That's my main use for it. Honestly, is exercise over anything else over the last 2 years. So when you're punching, it dislodges the battery. So you gotta have something to add some friction.
Which boxing game are you playing?
Box VR.
Box VR. Okay. I think I've seen that.
I like it because
have you been playing
it's got squats built in, so you gotta like squat
a
lot.
lot.
So you end up doing like a good 150 squats easy.
Jesus, that's cool.
Over like a 25-minute workout, and I feel like as a big boy, doing the squat move in the music videos was not my favorite. So it became like, more than a lot of other things, I care about actually squatting in general. And then it does shape your butt. Okay. That's why like it does have that impact, which is lovely. But like, nah. So, and then it was crazy just on the subject of this. My girlfriend got me the fucking Nintendo Switch video game with the ring.
Oh, the thing you do that?
It destroyed me.
I bet, because all that tension is doing this.
But not just this. It's this. It's this. It's
I saw
all these
someone
moves.
speed run that game. You should check out the speed run for that game.
That looks painful.
I saw someone speed run it.
How? You must be in shape like a motherfucker, because like
they did tricks. They were like going like this or something.
Okay. Because like you literally have to jog to move your fucking character, and then it's like climb the stairs. Nah, bro, your knees aren't going high enough.
I saw the speed run for that game, dude. It was amazing.
I'm just saying, video games are gonna get me into shape. I know it's the wildest shit, but video games are my health.
Have you played Beat Saber?
I didn't, because I got Box VR, and I saw Beat Saber didn't have any squatting or shit, and I never
Beat Saber is more arm.
But I never felt like I maxed out like what Box VR, because I did it for a while. I spent like 7-8 months like really pushing, and then I had that situation take place, and then I was petty for like half a year, and I didn't want to touch my VR. Sometimes you get like that, and then I just said, "What am I doing lately?" That shit was pretty good for my chest, because that was the wild part. Is punching air 2 beats really builds up this part of your body, and you start getting more tone. You're like, "What the fuck? I'm playing a video game, punching air and shit." And so So I really got back into it a little bit, and I still haven't maxed it out. But I suppose if I maxed it out and I had some solution for my lower body, it looks like one hell of a fucking upper body workout that will fuck you up.
You know, it's crazy. That just shows us how stagnant of people we are as a human race. If punching air gets us fucking tired.
Well, it's not okay, but like to be fair, it's not just like randomly punching air. It's like you're doing it for like I do like 45 minutes, right? Of
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
full
it's a full body
punch,
workout.
punch, uppercuts,
Yeah.
like full because it's like the way it does it is it forces you to twist and shit and do all this
Oh, yeah.
shit where it's like
You show me your core. Yeah.
so like it's kind of like shadow boxing, you know? Shadow boxing was always legit.
What was it? It was, I think it was the monks or something. Like they just use their body weight for training until it's like until it's like not enough, and they'll just add water, jugs of water. But like you can get fucking fit because I mean, however much you weigh, that's the weight. That's your weight that you're pushing up or squatting down. Like you're squatting with that body weight.
Yeah. I can't do a pull up. Never have.
I
Never been
probably
able to.
can't.
Never been. I can do
don't think I
push ups,
can either.
thankfully. So I can do like
I
half
think my
of it.
arms will fall off. I don't think I can do a push up.
But I wonder if after using Ring Fit Adventure, like I feel like it's so corny to say out loud and shit, but like bro, I might actually end up being able to do a pull up after this fucking Nintendo Switch game.
Yeah. I'll send you the video after this of the speed run. It's great. He's just like
Nah, it's painful, bro. Like that, you have to be strong. I'm telling you, like it. I mean, you guys might be laughing at me, and you might be like strong. I'm not that strong.
I'm not laughing at you. I can't do that shit.
It's like,
I can't do any of that, dude.
nah, I mean, but then I also
sit in front of my
realized
computer all
like
day.
some muscle groups you work out more than different muscle groups. So like I've been like on my squat game for a minute, so I crushed that squat shit, and then I went to the fucking over my head bullshit, and oh my fucking god, I didn't know that I'd never worked out these muscles ever.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of the World's Strongest Men videos on YouTube, and they explain there's like even so many different muscle groups just by doing this exercise compared to this exercise. Because you're using different muscles for all three of those positions, and it's like, dude, that's crazy. He's like, yeah, I'm doing my upper whatever today, and he's just doing just like or whatever. It's like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, do you find yourself in the fitness world? Do you try to keep your health proper?
I try and I give up. I have weights. I lift weights. I probably do about 20 or 30 of these. I guess you call them reps a day, but that's about it. I need to do more. I have a thing on my channel, my live stream, or my Twitch channel. It's like people can spend channel points to force me to work out, and I have that set really low. But yeah, I need to do more. I know I'm lacking on cardio. I think cardio is what I should be doing right now. But I used to play DDR a lot, Dance Dance Revolution. I actually have a pad in my room. But I've actually been thinking about getting back into playing DDR, and I might stream that.
I was like, you could stream that, get cardio. And if you're good,
Yeah.
I bet that'll get crazy views.
I used to be really good. I used to be able to play any song on a hardest difficulty setting. Like that was my game back in high school.
I don't even know how. I get like left-footed and 2 left feeties, and then I stump. I
used
can't
to play-
handle that shit.
I used to play double play on 2 pads on heavy or hard mode or whatever it's called.
That's like
The
1
highest
yo
difficulty.
and 2
It's
pads.
big.
How do you do that? Did you ever get that on YouTube? That shit sounds like a
No,
million
I
views
should.
waiting for happen.
I should. Well, I don't have 2 pads nowadays, and I'd actually need metal pads to do it. I should get that shit up on YouTube.
Bro, they have that shit
There
in
were-
arcades still.
Yeah, they do. I should. Well, I'd probably die now just doing one step on that thing.
We got
But I should
practice.
get back into it. I used to play, and I do. Well, this is what I use now. It's called Step Mania. So it's the PC version of DDR, and you could put just custom songs in there. You can also put your own music in there and make your own steps. But that's they have like these songs that are called like the keyboard mega packs, where it's just like a finger workout that's going like that on your fucking keyboard. But learning how to do that and then playing a little bit easier songs on actual feet is like, I think that's the best way to do it. Learn the most difficult song and play easier song with your feet.
So you learn the rhythm of the song inherently to yourself via your
Yeah,
fingers, and
on some of them, yeah,
then you bring that to like the feet. And I guess that makes
yeah,
sense because if you know the rhythm in some part of your body, I guess it
and you're
creates.
not getting worn out either.
You mean getting
Yeah,
worn out learning the song, bro? You have strategy
yeah,
to
but
this
you're not
shit.
like sweat. You're not like sweating balls though. Learning it.
Maybe you want to though because you want to learn the cardio side of it, right? Like maybe like
Yeah,
that's
you want
part
to
of the
build up the
game.
stamina. Yeah, if you don't have the stamina for it, I should get back into
Do
doing that.
people
Maybe
like
I'll get
speed
back
run
into that.
DDR? Can you speed run DDR?
I don't think so because the songs are all the same length. People do perfection runs of like playing the hardest song and getting like AAA scores and stuff like that. Like perfection runs.
Are you a speed runner?
I try to kind of. I wish I was. I've been trying to speed run Minecraft,
Is there an
but
end
that's my
goal
only speed
in
run.
speed? I don't know how you would. Okay, like
So in Minecraft, the speed run goal is to defeat the Ender Dragon,
what's the inner dragon? You gotta understand. I
the
really
final
don't.
boss.
This is like
So basically, defeat the final boss.
so when you spawn a Minecraft universe, there's always a final boss to defeat.
Yeah.
Okay, and then your goal is to then build up your little Minecraft universe. Because I don't really know what the point of Minecraft is outside of the
Well, the
art.
goal is to get to the boss as fast as you can and kill it. And if you're speed running,
Right, and fair
and
enough.
like you're not really building up anything. You have goals in mind, but it's so difficult. I can't do. I've tried a few times on my stream, and I just make a fool of myself.
I'm sure it's fun to watch though.
Maybe.
Sometimes it's like, cause like if you get better over time, like I don't know. I don't have a lot of speed run watching. The only person I know who's fucking speed runs is fucking what's his name, Awkwards, and
Okay, I know awkwards.
I watched
Or
him
I've seen him, I should say.
do the same fucking
Mm-hmm.
level on like 3 or 4 occasions. But like watching his finesse with it over time was like super fascinating. And then watching him get frustrated while I don't have to get frustrated is also really nice. Like
Yeah,
I get to just watch him go through it, and then his perseverance makes me want to copy paste more at work or whatever. It was really like a weird effect it had. I wasn't expecting to enjoy watching people speed run. But yeah,
watching people get mad and frustrated, and you're just
yeah,
sitting back like, "Oh, I'm not frustrated."
yeah, it's a good vibe. I don't know, it's just kind of what
Yeah,
it is. But yeah, no, that's cool, man. I appreciate you. I don't know how much more time you have. Because I saw you pick up your lighter, and I'm like, does that mean he wants to go take a smoke break?
I can smoke right now. I'm just playing with it. I
Mm.
just turned on my air conditioner. I have all the time in the world, dude.
All right, cool. I just want to make sure I'm not overstepping. Cause sometimes people do these like fucking hard stops out of nowhere. Some of them don't go long, but you're like a whole vibe.
I don't have a producer behind me with looking at his watch.
Nah, it's not that. It's people be parents and shit. There's nothing that'll fuck up your interview time slot like a daddy
Oh,
being
when you're
like,
fucking yeah.
yo, my daughter be needing me. I want to keep talking to you, but do you hear that crying in the next room? And you're like, yeah, you should probably go be a dad now. That does sound like that's the responsible
Yeah,
shit to go do. Especially because now that it's like COVID times, everybody's just fucking home and shit. So you're a dad game.
yay, COVID.
But
I'll take a hit on the stream.
yeah, you can. Like I said, we
Let's
discussed
go.
this ahead of time. Why is this even like a matter? Because my stream's in Canada, so I can just be like, it's all good, baby. It's federally legal here. So Twitch's rules are, if I understand them,
Yep,
you can't break the law with drugs. So
yep.
I imagine that means you can go pretty hard in Spain. But like you can't do shit like whatever it is. And if I'm not mistaken, in Georgia, it might not be the safest.
Yeah, we're on your stream, not mine.
Right. This is a Canadian stream. It's all Canada right here. That's right. Everybody's in Canada right now.
One of my workmates was from Canada, and he was a contractor, but he came down. We had him in Georgia, but he'd have to go back every few years for a few months so that he could reinstate his work visa.
Yeah,
and he'd come back down.
There's some shit
And
where
he was just like,
you gotta live here
Yeah.
like half a year plus a day.
yeah. And then he would just like go biking in Greenland or something on that. He's like, well, I'm on a 3-month vacation. I'm going to go biking.
Yeah, that's
It's
a
like,
life.
dude,
That's a life.
that is life right there.
Yo, I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
There was this homeless guy who dressed up as Spider-Man and shit, and a few of them in Montreal. And they'd be homeless as fuck all year, and we would judge them, and then they'd just spend the winter in Florida partying. And like, I'd be like, shit, man, I don't know. That guy got some shit figured out that I didn't, was what I
The
learned.
dude's not homeless.
Nah, I mean, he literally, because dude, they literally don't have homes.
They just hang out. Okay, so he's
They're
just
quite-
living off his bank account, living on the street.
They make crazy money being street performers, because it's Montreal,
Oh, okay.
right? So I don't know how big
Yeah.
the city you're in's at, but like, I'm gonna be real. If you're a good street performer in Montreal, you could probably make enough money to go spend 6
Yeah,
months. in
I've seen
Florida.
street performers in like New York and the Bay Area, stuff like that. Yeah.
So like this dude, this one guy just a Spider-Man and shit, and he would you fucking watch him like smoking and shit too, like because he's just, and then they'd be like the squad of people that be always fucking there, and then they don't have homes because they're like, why am I paying rent, bro? And they just live off of like restaurants and shit, and they figured out wherever they do their showers.
They're
And
doing the busking. They're doing what I was doing.
Yeah,
I needed
busking.
food, so I go play at a restaurant.
but they save
And
all
get
their
food
money,
that
right?
way.
So they pull like 100
Yeah.
a day or whatever they pull, doing whatever they do in whatever location. Yo, because like
They
even
just
the
go to
busking.
Florida.
Yeah, I found out that because Montreal subway system has a busking program. So if you show up at like 5 in the morning when the metros are open, you could like sign up on a paper and get the good time slots.
Really?
And bro, it's like money is what I got told. Like we're saying like I don't make money compared to what those buskers make doing what they do per hour.
What you gotta do is take some DJ racks out there with some speakers and just mobile DJ.
The problem is the busking program is for people who aren't actually doing shit like me. So I don't think it's ethical for myself to do it given what I do. It's for people, and it says it right in their fucking guidelines and shit. So like, it's for buskers.
Yeah.
Like they're trying not to have like people trying to
You don't want this one up everyone.
like they don't.
You just one up everyone, and everyone's just like coming to you, and all these buskers are mad at you.
But
Because,
I think they're trying to also avoid having like somebody who could be busking and like making their living lose their slot to like signed artists
Yeah.
and shit trying to like do promo
Yeah.
runs because it's not even like
yeah.
me. It's like where it could go. Do you have to audition for it? Okay, maybe you have to audition for
Like,
some of them. But
Dead Mouse just comes down, and because he's from Montreal, Dead Mouse just comes
there's
down.
that
and-
mouse from Montreal. Say a
Yeah.
word.
Dead Mouse is a Canadian. Yeah, from Montreal.
I had no idea Dead Mouse was from here. We should claim
Yeah.
him. I listened to a few of his tunes.
Yeah, I think you guys do.
I mean, when I say
I
we
think
should,
you guys have claimed him.
I mean, I don't really know a hit. Like, I'm at my circle. Because, yo, we don't really think a lot about the successful Montrealers that much. Because there's not, like, there's a lot of them.
There's so much
but
EDM
there's-
coming out of Montreal.
Yeah.
There's so much. It's really
Yo,
good.
my brother used to be part of this, like, the scene. Okay, like, my brother was part of the scene when it was cool back in, like, 2010 to 2012 that
Yeah.
birthed all the fucking people that are, like, popping now. Like, there's a good chance I've done Molly and watched some of the names that you might geek over when they were nobodies,
Yeah.
and I don't know who the fuck they are, and then I was just at those shows because they used to do, like, the abandoned warehouses, and, yo, Kate Trinata is, like, different, though. Kate Trinata is, like, royalty. I mean, when you have Grammy award winning from your city, you're like, bro, and he's, like, hip-hop connected, too. So, like, and Dirtworks also from Montreal, if we're just going down that path. He produced for Kanye West's. He keeps getting Grammys because of Kanye. It's like wild to think,
Dang it,
right?
Kanye.
Like Kanye just keeps
Yeah.
winning this man Grammys. Yeah, Kate Trinata is kind of like if you're at all connected to music in this city, you know who Kate Trinata is, you know who Arcade Fire is, because they're the Grammy
Mhm.
Award winners from your city. And then none of us really talk about Celine Dion that much unless you really like her music. But like, not my favorite kind of music.
There's a lot of talent coming out of Montreal. That's crazy.
But it,
Like almost
but like,
all the people I listen to, pretty much Montreal and Europe.
yo, I would love
No
to
one's
at
from the
some point
U.S.
like get a list of your Montreal names. I'm gonna run it by my brother and see if I know any of these people. Like it would be wild to think that like this motherfucker you're geeking to has just been on my Facebook for like 7 years and I had no idea that they were like hot.
All right, I'll give you a list. I'll ask my best friend because he's way better with the names, and I'll be like, give me some names.
Yo, I've been telling people for
Because
a minute the EDM scene was like hot. I had no idea it was like
it's
that
super
hot.
hot.
Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
wild. Because like I could tell like our biggest festivals were like EDM ones, and like okay like the best underground events I went to were totally raves. It was like I mean just
Yeah,
fiscally speaking,
it's just
like
club music.
they could
Yeah,
afford to pay their artists. Like it was like they could afford to pay their artists. Holy shit, rap ain't be paying anybody. Metal's not doing that well. None of the other genres
mm.
are doing well in my city, but EDM is like I don't know. Maybe it's also because like the culture that surrounds it's kind of like what it is, and it's hot.
But as I was saying, we were talking a little offline. I was saying how rap and EDM and pop kind of are the same because you can rap on an EDM track, you can rap on a pop track, and a lot of these top charters right now are pop slash rap. They'll go into pop verse and then rap and then pop verse. Like those are some of the top charters right now.
I can tell you between 2012 and 2017, finding an EDM producer in Montreal that wanted to work with me was one of the most miserable experiences of my life. For a giant city, it's super segregated, and I would
Really.
argue there was not a lot of I can't say now. I ended up YouTubing as of 2017 and my like connection to the IRL part of the scene is not what it should be, so it's something I've got to fix in 2022 personally, but like yeah, it would be like cuz I've been trying to work with bands and shit. Like I'm all about that. Bands would be like, "Bro, I love what you do, but like I make this kind of music." And then the whole scene for EDM would be like, "I make hard style. I make this kind of
I
style.
see
I
it.
make this kind of rap."
Yeah.
And then it's like,
These people that are stuck to their genre, they're going to be stuck to their genre forever. That's why music is music. If the music's going to fit it, let's make it, right? Like, I don't want to be stuck to a genre. That's why I like making a whole bunch of different types of genres.
I think it has a lot to do with the
You know?
fans, because like I am in the Montreal rave group on Facebook and shit, and
Yeah.
that's how the fans go to this shit. They identify as hard style kids and side trance kids, and
You could still, yeah.
because then when you're trying to build, because this is about the more the marketing side, right? Like you're trying to get booked now. So what ends up happening is what I understand it, because again, I just talked to a bunch of EDM dudes over the last while, just by virtue of my life, and I understand it that they'll just rebrand. They'll just make 8 acts out of themselves, and each act is the
Mm-hmm.
particular subgenre that'll get them booked at whichever
Yep.
festival is required that they can do their music, and you can't even just be like one guy in that world.
Yeah, a lot of times, and I've learned this since I got signed to Sunny Beach. It's like I'll make a song and then they'll send it out and have like 8 different people remix it
What's
on
Sunny
their
Beach?
genre. The Sunny Beach Records is actually it's the label I'm under. It's a low up and coming label, but
When did
shout out to Sunny Beach.
When did you get signed? That seems like a big thing we
Uh,
missed.
I got signed probably about 3 months ago, 4 months ago.
Mm.
It's one of my really longtime friends who owns a label, and I was like, "Put me under your label." And he said, "Okay, your music's good enough now."
What does that do for you?
So for me, they still are a lower end label, but they do a lot of the marketing for me. They do a lot of pushing me on social media. I really don't have to do a lot of social media work anymore. They pretty much push it for me, tell me what to do. They're working on getting me in clubs, tell me what I need to do to get in clubs. I need more followers, for a club to be like, hey, let's get Fell. because he's got some followers, you know. That's pretty much all they've been doing. Then every song I make, they'll send it out to be remixed by other people, or
Say word.
yeah,
The one
that's always nice. Mhm.
the one thing I learned about labels doing this is they're a giant network of people who network better than artists.
Yeah, pretty much. And I made sure that the label that I'm under is I own 100% of my music. If I was to go to another bigger label, that's fine. I get it all. So that's what you have to really make sure when you get signed to a label is that you own your music. Because if you, let's say you let's say you're making a song, or you have a song released in your label, and then you send it out for, like, let's say Mousetrap Mondays, you know, Dead Mouse's feedback he does like once a month. Then he's like, I love this song. I want to sign you. I want this song. A lot of times he can't have that song because now it's owned by that label, right? So, or anyone who wants that song now can't have that song because it's owned by that label. So you have to make sure that you own 100% of the rights of your music.
Question. But if Dead Mouse then wants to own your song, is it worth selling it to Dead Mouse?
Oh yeah, he'd be a huge label. I'd go to him in a heartbeat. That'd be Mousetrap labels.
So you're saying it's totally worth it to sell the song if the label is a big enough machine to give you enough bang for your buck?
At least for me, I would do it. I would do it because that would put me under millions of views, right?
Yeah.
On a high label.
I mean,
I would do it. I'd sell out.
I don't think it's selling out.
I don't think it is either. I think it's just taking a higher price.
But it's not even anything like that. Like, personally, I don't give a fuck about my masters the way I'm supposed to. I know a lot about business. I'm pretty sure I could do pretty well without owning my masters. Nobody's buying my shit right now anyway, and if people want to buy my shit, if somebody makes $1 million off my song, I could make $1 million off the next song. I'm not that stressing on my masters. I'm more worried about, like, 5 years deal, 5 album deals, and that shit's scary to me. That's the shit I would really watch for. But, like, the more I look into it, like, yo, I don't know a lot about booking. I'm not great with PR.
Yeah, I don't
writing
do that
press
shit.
kits, all the social media shit. Like, I want somebody to tell me what to TikTok. I don't want to think of what TikToks I have to do by myself.
I have no idea. And so these people have actually been helping me. So they'll Instagram for me, and then they'll also be like, "Hey, you should do these types of posts every now and then," and I'll do those.
And then, like,
you know, it's like
the majors let you go around the world, bro. How else are you gonna see the whole world? Like, fuck that. Own my masters. Send me to Switzerland and shit. And then, you know, you might say they make $1 million on it, and they might. But
if your label is making $1 million, you're making probably close to that as well.
But even beyond that, even if I get 100,000, that's still 100,000. Like, I mean, like, 9 times out of 10, when I look at the numbers people be mad about, I'm like, man, maybe I'm just not rich, but that number doesn't look like it couldn't change my life.
Money's money as long as it's worth it.
Well, worth it. Right? Like, to be fair, like, I don't know if I want to, like, the $5,000 price tag to sell a song to a video game is an interesting number, because 5,000 is one of those numbers where, like, I know I can make 5,000. I just don't know if I could make 5,000 in a moment that fast every time. So, like, it's kind of like, do you want to give up? Because then if you sell it to the video game, right, the label Dead Mouse can't own it either.
Yeah, he wouldn't be able to own that one. That's correct.
So it's like, these are super interesting. So let's say a video game wanted to buy a song then. Are you cool with that, given the same kind of idea with Dead Mouse? Or would you have just created something different for that?
I'll just make something different, because every song I make is hopefully better than the last. You know, so if I make something in the future, it's going to be better than whatever I sold the video game company, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll make better music. I mean, that's just...
If I'm not making better music, if my music's going down in quality, I'm doing something wrong.
I mean, you're really good at what you do. Like, you're beyond the point where, like, I feel like you would make bad. Like, I feel like you hit a threshold where your 10,000 hours, whatever arbitrary fucking thing it is.
Yeah.
You break past that, and now your bad shit is still good. So now it's just about style and preferences and marketing and who fucks with it. You might change, and then
what we're saying, maybe even our bad shit is our most popular.
bro, like there is one guy who watches me who told me the 2009 bullshit where I made the beat. I don't know how to make beats. I push, but bro, I don't even fucking twist knobs right and shit. He said that was his favorite one, and I'm like, huh? What? This is like,
I was like, that was garbage.
I put that out because it's like, here's the cute novelty of my shitty 2009 fucking song. And yes, Ismail, this was you. This was you, Ismail. He's right there validating. This is a true story. And I'm like, how? Like, to me, and like my voice is so flat because I don't know how to do anything. And that's just, yo, you might be right. It might be your worst shit in your mind is somebody else's favorite. And music, that's why I'm like, when hip hop heads and shit be like hating on shit, and I'm like, you might hate that, but like, man, people like all kinds of bad songs. Sometimes I like songs cause they're bad.
I mean, look at the Island Boys.
It's not that bad. Like, they're kind of like on beat and shit. Like, I mean, it's not my favorite. I wouldn't go out of my way. To be fair,
I just want to go there and just like start with scissors on the Island Boys and just...
Yeah, here's what it is. Everything about their vibe. Listen, they have another song where the music video starts with them both eating booty next to each other, and I'm like, yeah, no, it's real.
Yeah.
I was curious. I wasn't curious about that track. I was like, it was in my face, and then they party the rest of it, and I'm like, I don't know, the 20-year-olds in Miami, but the acapellas weren't shit. Like, from the delivery, like from a vocalist point of view, the goofy, all the other shit. But I was like, yo, they're actually kind of got better delivery than a lot of rappers I know. What they're saying, whatever. But it's a hit because the world said so.
It is a hit. I don't think they're going to make another one now. The world said so. So here's something. I heard that they may have sold their soul. Because they did a TikTok video saying that they regretted selling their soul, and it was bad and evil. They didn't like it. That's what I heard. Though it's conspiracy, but they did a TikTok video saying that shit. I'm like, well, it kind of makes sense how that song became a hit for no reason.
No, TikTok is the reason, bro. TikTok is.
Yeah, that's true. TikTok
is.
I gotta start TikToking. I heard music does really well on TikTok.
I think you can do a lot with TikTok. Here's something you could do, like little producer challenges for rappers, where like you sit there and you're like, or whatever the beat plays, and you just look over and be like, little who'd be hot on this, and you let them duet it.
Okay,
that's one flex. I mean, TikTok's about traffic, and once you get traffic, it's about flipping that traffic into monetization. Everything you do on TikTok doesn't matter unless you get traffic. There's the side of TikTok where the music you release might go randomly viral. That's hard. That is so random that if the labels knew how to do it, Drake would be doing better, kind of thing on TikTok.
Yeah.
So I don't really think people know how TikTok's algorithm works well enough. But what I can tell you is if you consistently pump out TikToks, you have no idea when that TikTok could be a 1 million view TikTok. And that it will be the easiest and freest platform for you to put out content. And the more I fuck with TikTok, the more I realize it's really fucking easy. Like, to make TikToks. Like, it's time consuming. As in, like, but so is every other kind of video you make, I suppose. Yeah. So, like, but I could see how, like, with practice, you could be banging out in, like, an hour, a week's worth of TikToks. Maybe 2 hours. Like, really banging out the heart of your TikToking. And, like, then if you get traffic, you can sell TikToks. I mean, like, yo, I'm going to start doing little TikTok music reviews. And then if I have enough traffic, it's $20 for a shoutout review. Whatever. Call it what you want. I mean,
that's interesting.
That's a real tactic, bro. Like, I mean, you want to have traffic. So that's
Yep.
the hard part where you got to do all the shit to get your traffic. But once you have traffic on TikTok, you can do anything. People don't try hard like you think. They just try hard on the editing and to make it look nice and to present whatever image they want. But sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's like really shitty TikToks. Like,
Yeah.
it's so random, bro. People overthink the talk, but I love the talk now. I'm like finally becoming one of those. I don't know if I want to keep using Facebook, people.
I mean, Facebook's dead. I want to be using Facebook.
It's good for old people, bro. Anybody over the age of 27 still on Facebook. So it's like cutting off like half the world just because of like this perception. Like, I mean, my literal day job is related to growing Facebook groups for companies and shit. That's what I do. I don't do level design. I do community building and reputation management. So it's like, nah, Facebook poppin'. Like, you can make hella cash on Facebook. It's just that you're not going to reach 18-year-olds. You're just going to reach 40-year-olds. So if what the fuck you do is good for 40-year-olds, there actually may just be a Facebook play that's being overlooked because people be thinking about it different. TikTok is every age group, but that percentage of that age group that likes TikTok, it's like the same percentage across all age groups. There's people who TikTok and people who don't. And then Instagram is more youth oriented. And apparently teenagers and shit fuck with Snapchat. And I'm like, what? And they're not doing it for no titties and crap like we were doing it. No, they're doing it for like intimate friendship connections and shit. So like, it's wildly specific what platform you want to use based on who the fuck you want to reach. Kind of like syndication is and how you design it. So, like, people sleep on Facebook like crazy, but I write all kinds of ranty-ass shit because it keeps me relevant in Montreal's local hip-hop Facebook community. I don't give a fuck about any other community on Facebook. Just that one.
Yeah.
And it keeps me relevant there. And it's worked out well for me. But I don't pretend like Facebook ad money is worth $1 for my goals. It could be good for your goals, though.
Yeah, I've been kind of staying off Facebook.
It's toxic as all fuck. It is not happy.
It definitely is. No. I think I might move over to what were we just talking about?
TikTok.
TikTok's cool. I think I might move over to there.
And it knows you, bro. It's weird how cool the algorithm is. Because, like, I don't see TikToks that make me angry. I've, like, never seen a TikTok that made me feel inflamed or unhappy. I see some boring-ass TikToks. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to act like every TikTok's a hit. But, like, they just don't show me the shit that's going to make me sad. So it's like the opposite of Facebook. Like, if Facebook shows you all the shit to make you mad and unhappy and fuck with you.
That's all Facebook is.
Then TikTok is like, we're going to tell you what girls you find hot within 4 hours. Or guys or whatever. Just... like, we're going to tell you that shit. And you're going to find out what kind of comedy you like real fast. And we're going to find out which memes are the right memes. And it's weirdly cool. I mean, it's creepy, but cool. It's like what algorithms could be in a positive alternative world where Facebook doesn't dominate the meta.
Yeah, where they aren't trying to get you to fight each other.
I think they're going to cool off a bit. They got mad at me for posting, "If Young Metro don't trust you, I'm going to shoot you." Which was stupid.
Wait, yeah.
I don't know why I posted that.
I can see why.
I could see why, too. I was not sober. That's why but, like...
Dude, non-sober Facebook is the best, though.
I mean, if I'm going to get clipped on that kind of dumb shit, like, let me get clipped, like, saying some dumb shit. That was, like, the dumbest of the dumb shit. And I got this little Facebook, like, fuck you. And I'm like, oh, right. I'm not allowed to just say what I want on Facebook. Fuck you, alcohol.
Yeah. I think I'm shadow banned on Facebook. But that's another story.
I mean, I don't know. I think shadow banning is kind of, like, overrated in its concept. I think what happens is that algorithms follow trends based on interest. So if you were posting whatever the fuck is relevant on your timeline, you would just get seen. And if you're posting new shit or...
There's a lot of times, though, where I'll get a comment. Like, someone will comment my post, and I click on it, and it won't take me to the comment. And this happens, like, multiple times in a row.
Is this on
Like
desktop?
someone will, yeah.
Okay, that's not. Okay, here's my
It's
theory.
not. It's not them fucking
No,
shadow
here's my
banning
theory
me.
on this. Okay, y'all may not agree with my theory, but what you guys might not know is 80% of Facebook users are mobile users.
Yeah, I'm mobile on it as well, but yeah,
On your phone, it almost always works though.
I think so. Yeah.
It's only on desktop it doesn't work. So what I think is that they make it shittier on desktop on purpose to make you go to your phone. So they don't
Okay.
explicitly tell you to it. But that feature does not work for me. That's an everybody thing on
Yeah.
desktop.
I just okay because I was like, dude, I get all these comments on maybe a controversial topic, and I want to see what they responded, and nope.
No, that shit happens to me on like every post on my page, like my music
Yeah.
page. So it's not
Okay.
that. It's like it's really just like because Facebook can't outright be
I
like
started to
fuck
get
you,
paranoid.
get off desktop. They can't do that because people like me are gonna be like, yo, make it, shitty guy. I'm on, game on. Like Facebook and me are gonna tangle
Yeah.
for a long time on this issue. But like, so they make it harder. But the truth is then you do go to your phone to click on that notification. Now you're using Facebook on your phone.
I don't.
I do.
I just say F it.
But that,
I'm like, I don't care what they were gonna say anyways.
but it really is
Probably better.
that one thing, because there might be some weird shit. I really believe has more to do with Facebook trying to brainwash me out of using their desktop application and to go into the phone.
Yeah.
Because my company develops apps, and the most miserable experience is when like the new app drops. That knowledge base got to get updated, bro.
Yeah.
All the screenshots, all the articles, all the replacing version numbers and shit. And that's a expensive ass thing to upkeep and shit. So it's like the support costs kind of like force companies to like force people to simplicity. So nobody wants desktop. Nobody likes it,
Right.
except for me and the people who like desktop. Shout out us, the squad.
Yes. Shout out Desktop Squad.
Nah, I mean that. I'm a PC motherfucker. That's what it is.
Yeah. Me too. I hardly ever use my phone.
I use my phone and my PC, but I hardly ever use my phone for shit like typing. Cause yo, my WPM be like hella high on my fucking like, keyboard, and then it drops to nothing with my thumbs, and I type out all the time. If you see me making spelling mistakes, I'm telling you I'm on my phone. 100% of the time I make a typo, I'm on my phone.
Well, dude, autocorrect too gets you too. It's like, no, I'm spelling it correctly, but you just changed the word. Thank you.
I'm on that Android life with no autocorrect, but I hear that. Phone.
I'm tied to my iPhone. I want to get away from it.
I want to switch to Team iPhone. I don't really have any like love, and I know it's weird to say it, but I thought about it long and hard from an app development perspective, and the app iOS store has better apps than the Google Play Store. And Clubhouse happened, where Drake's hanging out on Clubhouse, and I can't even go on Clubhouse because I'm too poor with my fucking $2,000 at the time or whatever it was, $1,500 Galaxy S whatever. So it's not even like a money thing. It was just I went Galaxy, and I found out that from an app dev perspective, Google Play is perceived as like the poor markets because the whole world uses Android. So when you run the demographics of Apple users, Apple's cost $2,000 USD across the world. They don't fucking change their prices in other countries. So the average revenue per Apple user is probably like 6 figures plus, whereas the average revenue for Android user is so small. So I started thinking about that shit, and I'm like, whoa, I might be missing out on some serious opportunity cost in music because every one of your favorite musicians has an iPhone. All of them. They all have iPhones. I don't know any of my favorite musicians that have a fucking Samsung for some reason. Maybe there's something in the Apple ecosystem that just flexes or communicates something. Because, 100% having an iWatch tells people things about you. It just does.
Yeah. I don't know. The thing with the iPhone is it's so protective. And with the Android, you can just put any app that you want on it. Like as an app developer or game developer, I want to be able to put my whatever project I'm working on directly onto the phone and test it instantly. With the iPhone, you actually have to put it through the Apple Store in order to test your app. It's just a hurdle you have to jump over. Oh,
But-
kitty.
From like a, I don't know how much it applies for games, but I do know a bunch about software UX design. And designing for Android is a lot harder than designing for Apple because Apple has controlled screen sizes, so you can kind of almost go
Okay.
with like one interface fits all, and it
Yeah.
might not matter as much in a game. I don't know. I assume size matters more in a game, but like, yo, aspect ratio could fuck up your whole design, and having to do everything web responsive when you're dealing with like productivity tools is kind of complicated actually.
Yeah, I can see that.
So like what I think happens for stuff like, you know, sound engineering tools, video editing softwares, like that kind of shit, the creme de la creme is not on Android. They don't have to be. They can sell their
Yeah.
app for $25 on Apple and people will buy it because they make enough money. And that was what made me go, oh, what the fuck am I missing over there? Like, what am I missing? Plus, half the time you go to any best app lists, all the really interesting out there new shit, it's always Apple only. Nobody starts on Android. Everybody starts on fucking Apple, you know?
Yeah, even I started on an Apple, and I had a iPhone 3 for the longest time, and there was a 7 that was out, and I still had the 3.
Nah, but that's a testament to the longevity of the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Back when they were like
That was a good product.
fucking bulky and heavy and shit. Fuck, you remember
Yeah.
how heavy phones used to be?
I had the Nokia. I used to have a Nokia thing that played Snake on it. That was the only game.
Bro, I
The
had
Snake.
one. I have one in my fucking closet. Like, I don't know if it's a snake
Dude.
one. I think it's one of the Nokia ones, no snake. But I got one in my closet
Okay.
with the fucking click antenna shit, and you
Yeah,
flip the
you had to pull
fucking
out the antenna.
plastic
Yeah.
piece that went over the mouth
Oh, let me
thing.
make a phone call.
Yeah, that was some real shit. Oh
Hello?
my gosh,
1942 calling.
man. Yo, in 1942, could they do that? I guess so. I guess they had phones.
Well, let me pull out my mobile rotary phone. Hello.
Bro, do you remember when car phones were a thing? Like they had that
Yeah.
car phone, and then
That was a style of class too. You were classy if you were pulling out a car phone.
and then you gotta think you had the car phone, and now it's illegal to drive in the car. Talk like that. I guess with automated Bluetooth, everyone's kind of got a car phone in this future. But they were like
Yeah.
flat out like holding the receiver on like their hands, like it was like a full on fucking phone back
Yeah,
then.
there was a full-on phone. Yeah,
That's wild shit.
yeah. Nowadays, it just goes through the car speakers.
Yeah, do you like do playlists and algorithms and shit to help you find new music? How do you like find shit if you were gonna like do DJ work?
So, my main playlist is different than my DJ playlist. I pretty much any song I like, I'll push the favorite, so it goes into my like songs, which is like 600 songs now. When I'm looking for songs for DJing, I will search Spotify. I'll do like top club songs or club song playlists or whatever, and then some of those songs have like 100 or 200 songs in their playlists, and I'll just go through every single one of them. It takes a while, but I'll go through every single one, determine what key they're in, and then put them into a folder.
Yo, how the fuck do you determine what a song's key is in?
All right, so you just listen for the bass note, and I mash the keyboard. So it matches. Okay, that's what key it's in. It's in the key of.
Let me ask you this in
Play
different
play
way.
this. Play the note until it sounds like it fits. That's how I do it.
So like, I'm only asking this for like super selfish reasons, cause I just like,
Yeah.
okay, let's say I want to actually auto tune myself, cause like
Yeah.
then-
Whatever your bass note is, it's
Bro,
usually
I
what
don't
key
know.
you're in.
I don't even know how.
So you go like this.
But I don't have a
you play the
keyboard.
bass.
So I'd have to
well,
find
you're
like
gonna
a
have
digital
to-
keyboard or something.
Yeah, because that's how I do it. I play the bass and I'm like, oh, there it is. There it is. That's the note. Okay, now we're in the key of, B flat.
Fair. I suppose that makes a lot of sense.
9 times out of 10, it works. Every now and then it'll be like, oh no, this is actually a different mode. But dude, for electronic music or the type of music that we make, it's 9 times out of 10, that's what the key that you're in is whatever
That's
the bass is writing.
That's fair. I mean, I sort of know what that means. That's enough shit I can like figure. I mean, I know what it means.
That's
enough,
how I
like,
do it.
I don't fully know the base part of how to figure out how to implement that into real life action, but in theory, it sounds simple enough to like click notes to figure out what notes are.
Play a song, and then just like hit a note until it sounds like it belongs, and then keep hitting that note and make sure it belongs, and that's probably the key that you're in.
So in theory, that note would just keep working throughout the whole song if it's in the right key.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like compositionally, but like not
Correct.
Sounding like it clashes with shit.
Yeah. And then if it's a happy, upbeat song, it's major. If it's like not upbeat, it's minor. And most songs are in minor. You don't really get a lot of major songs.
That's super nifty.
That's how I do it. And this is coming from someone who took, like 3 years of music theory. This is how I find the key. Oh, that's it right there. That's the key.
Yo, in life, sometimes though, the solutions to your problems end up being like mad basic when you really understand what you're looking for.
Yeah, we don't need to do some math problems here.
Nah, I was hoping in like secrecy there'd be like some fucking machine or plug-in I could put in that just scanned everything and did everything for me.
There is. So there are tuner VSTs. I don't know if you have a tuner VST. I know Ableton has one. You can throw a tuner down on your bass track, and when the bass note hits, it'll tell you what note it's playing. So like any guitar tuner, bass tuner, put it on your track, and you'll know what note it is.
That's wild.
I've seen people do it that way.
I like just kind of usually end up with beat files and shit. I mean, like I'm not like 1,000% worried about it. For me, it's just like I find this shit super interesting to talk about at like because nobody talks about it. Nobody really like.
How do you know what key your song's in?
I mean, I don't know. I know that everybody started telling me if I know what key my song's in, it's better. But like, my whole singing experience was like,
it sounds good.
I'm gonna sing Nickelback in the shower till I sound comfy enough that I don't hate it, and then shit like that. I never went down that like formal trading of singing. I'm not, bro. I barely sing. If you listen to me sing, it's not even good. It's just like stylistically, I like what it sounds like after. It is pretty shit at a technical level of singing. So keys, I'm like,
I always say as long as it sounds good, it doesn't really matter what you're playing. That's what I was saying earlier. It's like my friend, I don't want to tell him what he's playing. I don't want to give him that structure. I could give him a lesson right now and be like, here you go. But I think it's going to ruin his music because he makes by ear, and I don't want to give him structure, And I think that's important, especially that's how you make music. Then that's how you make music. Structure is going to ruin you, or maybe not. But it could, because then you can start overthinking, be like, well, I want to play this note and this note because it has to be this type of chord, or it has to be this.
So is there a way to like do lessons that instills the like best advice, but without creating the need to follow the rules?
Well, I think learning the rules is fine. Like, learn what the rules are, but it also goes by century, right? So we're in the 21st century right now. If we go back into the 1700s, they definitely followed rules. So you think of classical music, or you think of Baroque music, or Renaissance music. Those are strictly following music theory rules. And then as we progress through history, rules start being removed, and a lot of these rules were actually controlled by the church. I don't know if you heard, like, if musicians played certain notes that didn't work, they would be like ostracized. Their music license would be removed by the church. Sometimes they'd actually be tortured.
Just like, for like fucking up?
Because they had a certain set of notes that you had to play, right? Which is how you get your basic theory of like, this is a C major. So this chord, but you never get like shit like that. You know, like this right here, you'd be killed. If you ever played these two notes for a church in the 1700, you'd be killed because they don't go together. But as we progress through history, those notes start getting played more and more when you start going to the classical era, the romantic era, and then we get to the 21st century. You just throw all theory out the window, and you just play whatever sounds good, which is basically what music is, playing whatever sounds good. But I think going back, as long as you actually know the fundamentals of theory or chord formation, and then realize that none of it matters, you know, it's just whatever sounds good. But here's why it sounds good, right? Here's the reason why what you're playing sounds good. I think that's all that really matters. You know, long story short, whatever sounds good, but here's why it sounds good.
So it's like worth knowing why it sounds good, unless you're the type of person where that'll ruin you.
I think so.
That's wild. So it's like,
that's my train of thought.
So some people should do music school, and some people should run from music school.
I think so, really, yeah. Because Deadmau5 doesn't even know what he's playing. Deadmau5 admits he has no idea what chord he's playing as long as it sounds good, and that dude, top charts.
Yeah, I can get that, though. I mean, I know a lot of people who got taught how to rap. I definitely did not get taught how to do anything. So, like, you end up going down different avenues of, like, figuring out shit. Whereas, like I don't know. I mean, I did take a few singing lessons at one point because I didn't know how to hear the notes changing in my voice.
Yeah.
And I needed basically somebody to tell me when this goes like that, that's the notes changing. And I was like, oh, say word. Cool. I don't know if I need to pay you anymore. And I went to like 3 lessons, and I was like, I can't afford music.
I got it. It clicked.
I was like, this part, and then it took me another decade.
Yeah.
But, like, end of the day, like, I don't know. I bet if I'd, like, learned to sing right, it would sound real different.
It would. It would sound way different. And, I mean, sometimes it's good. Maybe structure's good, but, like I was saying, like, structure limits you from freedom because then you start being like, I have to do it this way.
Do you find the same thing in game design? Because that's like one of those meta conversations they have in gaming communities when I watch YouTubers critique games and shit.
I think so. I think in game design, it's just finding the fun and trying everything that you possibly can and seeing what sticks. A lot of times in game design, in the beginning of the process, you're just making random stuff and seeing if it's fun. You know, so I don't think really the beginning process is structured, but once you start finding the fun, that starts getting structured because then you have to like, okay, we're going to make this, and we're going to make this, and we're going to make this because this is the fun parts that we found, you know?
No, that makes sense. When you do level design, what does that mean?
So level design is it's like the play space that you're in, the visual environment that you're playing in. It's kind of defining how the player moves through the space, what encounters are going to happen, you know, if they're attacking the enemies, where do they find their loot. And then an art team will pretty much go through that and make it look good.
So,
like, so you're just defining the space.
Are you like bound to like stuff like lore and shit, or is it more on like mechanics and structure?
A lot of it's mechanics, gameplay mechanics, player movement. How does the player move through the environment? A lot of times a story will come in and be like, hey, we have this really specific lore that we want to put in, and then the level designer will work with them and be like, okay, we can do this to the map and do this to show what you're trying to show through your story. But yeah, it's pretty much us defining the play space before art comes in and just like, you know, makes it look really good.
So you would be like the guy who like decides how many houses are in a place in Skyrim and how many floors are in each house, and if there's towers and walls, and then somebody else.
And I'd place all that too in the layout. What's the layout of the city? You know, how is it placed?
Do you do like the world maps and shit too? Or is it more like specific locations?
So as level designers, usually specific locations, and you get like story to design the world map. You have a whole story team doing that. But then like yeah, the actual physical area that the player is walking in that's level design.
That's crazy to think. Like, so you're the one, you don't like necessarily put stuff on the table. You decide that there's gonna be a table.
I say there's gonna be a table here, and maybe the objective or something's here, you
Right.
know. And then Art will go through and be like, and this is what he wanted.
Ah, super dope.
Yeah,
So it's a lot of like logic shits, and then you just kind of have to like
yeah.
figure out ways. So you're like the maze guy.
I guess you could say it that way. Yeah.
Have you ever like?
Back in the day, though, in modding, I had to do everything. I had to do the layout and also art it and do everything. But now, when you're with a team of like 100 people, there's a team specifically built to make it look pretty, so you don't have to worry about doing any of that. You just focus on what your specialty is, and you know.
Yeah, it sounds a lot better than having to do it all. I imagine this. What's your least favorite part
It's
of
a lot
game
of work.
design?
Doing the artwork.
So you're not a fan of making the cups look pretty for Skyrim's table.
No, I'm a fan of get it done and here you go. Do what you want with it.
I respect that. I feel like you and Ismail would be like peas in a pod in that world of just getting shit done. And like I totally do it. I kind of like I like it from like a puzzle perspective because I met somebody once who made mazes and they used to put like keys and doors and you'd have to like
Yep.
go, and so it's like that kind of shit but just like way more complicated.
You can look at it like that. Like if you were to play a Call of Duty map, that environment that you're in is built by a level designer and then arted by an artist. The level designer defined where all the buildings and bridges and places the player can go, and then an artist came in and it looked good.
So in theory you could just like also go ahead and do this in the metaverse because basically what you're doing is like
super easy.
Because, like, I fucked around with one of them things, and somebody made this whole, like, experience where you could go through this, like, haunted fucking asylum shit, and there was keys and crap. And I'm like, yeah, I could conceive this from, like, a project management point of view. But, like, you're the guy that actually
It is.
does the, like, because that's what I do. I make project plans, and then you guys come through and do the things, and I go do quality work after.
In a gaming studio, you have a production team, which goes and talks to all the leads, or and gets all the tasks needed to complete whatever goal they're trying to complete, right? And then they go through and talk to the leads and be like, hey, we have this much time to do it. Here's the tasks that we're able to do. Assign them to your workers and get them done.
Yeah.
I love game design because I'm doing something different every single day, which I really like. It's not always the same thing unless it's a big project or something.
Like, how long does it take to design a level?
So to design a level, depending on the size, I can get like a good block out done in about a week. But then to get it arted probably takes about 2 or 3 months. And then,
So then like people like test that, it runs through QA, and then they come back and they're like, because like my cousin did a whole bunch of QA testing because like Ubisoft's up here, so like they hire and a couple others, and like then you get their notes and run the fucking mods to whatever to make it a little bit tighter and whatnot.
Yeah, QA will come through and be like, hey, I broke this, and this, and this. And be like, okay, fix. Yep.
Yeah, that's wildly cool. I don't know. I haven't talked to that many people who like actually do a lot of like interesting shit in video games. I've talked to people who do. I'm not gonna say QA is not the most interesting, but QA is kind of the most accessible role in I find the QA in the video game world.
It's the best way to get into the business.
Did you ever do QA?
I think. I haven't. I must respect to people who do QA because I know what they go through.
Yeah, I've heard like crazy stories of it. Like I've had friends who QA like big name games and stuff, and they're like, "Nah, bro, you think it's fun, but it's not. You'll just be like told, walk around the room without jumping for 3 hours and see what doesn't work.
Yeah. Fun.
And then you do that. But
And then
then,
write it down.
yeah. But then, like, when that game comes out, you know every fucking hack. And you, like,
Yeah.
for, like, a month, you're cool.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, like, how often do you release music?
I've been slowing down. I used to release like a couple songs a week, and I went to like one a week, and now it's like one every 2 weeks. I've been doing this thing where I'll make a song and I'll take like a week off from it, so I get an ear break, and I'll come back and play it again, so I have fresh ears on it, and then do a mix pass, and then master.
Do you find that that's, like, had a positive impact on your moves?
I think so, because it's good to get a break from hearing a song over and over and over again. So I get it to where it's like I almost forget about the song, and I listen to it from with fresh ears, so that I can go back and mix it. Because I don't want to mix something I've heard for over and over and over again. My ears just hearing the same thing. It's not actually hearing what it should be hearing.
Right.
Because you get that ear fatigue.
No, it makes a lot of sense. I find you can't release things right away. You have to sleep on it at least, because if you don't,
You gotta give respect to the music,
it's,
right?
I used to just, like, drop shit right away, get, like, fucking excited and put it out.
Yeah, you get excited, but then you're like, oh shit, it kind of sounds bad.
Yeah, I had a couple
When you
of
listen
those.
to it like a week later.
You're like, not my smartest choice, but it's out. So, what do you do then? I suppose you could private it, but, like, I don't know. It feels weird to private something after you put it out, like, right away, just because I guess here and there you might, but that's, like,
Yeah.
that's fair. I think it's interesting, though, that, like, it's like as you get, it slows down, but I guess the quality of your output increases from, like,
Quality definitely increases. Yeah.
and if your goal is production, right, like, then that's what, and the sound is the goal of a producer, then that seems like a interesting thing, because you have to do less in theory, but you're not doing less. You're just taking more time to do it right for each time.
Yeah, and every time I sit down to make a beat, I don't call them songs until they're songs. I'm just sitting there down having fun making a beat. And I could make like 5 or 6 beats until one sticks. I'm like, I like that one. I'm gonna work on that one. I'm gonna spend time on that one. I think with that mindset of just sitting down, not expecting to make a song, you're just having fun is the best way for me at least to look at music.
I think it depends on your goals, I guess. Like, I'm trying to find that balance between, I want to sell my music and I want to make the music I want to make, and there has to be kind of a balance between the two of those things. Or at least an understanding that if I make this kind of song, it can sell, or if I make this kind of song, I'm just kind of stroking my own ego. Because, like, sometimes those are things that I find. So I definitely hear what you're saying, but, like, it sounds like you're really, like, focusing on being, like, a real career musician out of this. And I find that really, like, admirable. And, like, it's inspiring, because I don't get to talk to a lot of people who are currently trying to be that. I've talked to people who were that and are no longer, or people who are hungry to be that. I don't get to talk to a lot of people who've, like, kind of figured it out for themselves. So it's always like,
I haven't figured anything out.
I don't know about that. You're like, bro, I'm like, got my new process to polish up the sound, TV syndication, this, that, the next thing. It sounds like you got yourself, like, a fucking solid plan, at least.
Yeah, workflow at least.
Which is kind of fire. And I mean, over times, it's just networking, connections, and opportunity. So once you have because that's the hard part, is the workflow. Like, I know a lot of people that might want to get signed, but what are you gonna? If somebody put me in a test, like, what are you gonna do if, like, you're in a room with, like, fucking real rap stars and shit, and they, like, write the verse?
Yeah, and they're like, okay, make a beat. You have an hour.
And that's all you
have. Because I got a plane to catch in 3 hours. You know?
And I realized that, there might actually be something to being able to whip a verse out of my ass and deliver it properly in, like, an hour as a skill. And, like, honestly, half of what I do now is just preparing for if I'm in that room.
Yeah. And I think that's what we are talking about earlier. The sightseeing and dictation really comes into play with that. Being able to write something that you either hear in your head or you hear someone else sing instantly, you're able to just boom transpose that onto paper or onto
Nah, Fel be
actual
like
notes.
dropping like hella G game like the whole interview. He might be acting all humble, but like let us be clear, this guy has been spitting like I don't really like see that many people really trying to push the professional side of music in the way that you're doing while being in
I
a
appreciate it.
position to have your shit on lock. So I don't even think Udra's gassing you up or nothing. Like you've been dropping hot
Udra's been a
knowledge.
long time supporter of me. She's been there since the beginning.
Yeah, that's cool stills. Like back when you were gaming or like the beginning of music.
Beginning my music stuff. I think it was once I I met Soy, I saw his channel, and then I think that's where everything just started, just exploding. Joining Soy's community and all those cool people, you know.
Nah, they're like a solid squad. I like had somebody describe it like, and I don't know if Soy's still here. He's probably off doing his shit, but like somebody made it sound
Some of the
like
Soy stuff.
Soy's community is like the cool kid club of like the like they're like the cool kids at school and
Yeah.
shit. And if you're in like Soy squad, it's like Mean Girl, not in a bad way. This was not put
Yeah.
to me in a bad
Join
way.
the
I'm
cool
just
kid.
trying to contextualize it with the references I have in my head, and it's like Mean Girls, where like they the squad and like the people want to be in Soy squad, and I was like, damn, Soy be like cool to like, and like I fucks with Soy, don't get me wrong, but like I just
Yeah.
haven't fully gotten into like watching it as often. He's cause yo, I watch Twitch at like in the day when I'm at work. So if you're
Yeah.
like online
Same
before
here.
5 p.m., I might watch
Yeah.
you. But there's a good chance that 5 p.m. clicks like you. I switch. It's like now it's grind mode, and I just gotta say like that community is very appealing to me in terms of like. I mean, I think I've been in his Discord for a minute, but like I'm afraid of Discord or something. It's fucking hard to get into. Like I've been forcing myself to Discord more, and I'm trash at it. But like,
It's a lot of work. There's a lot of work in all this stuff. Just
yeah,
need to hire someone.
that's always the fucking dream, right? But like, you know what the problem with hiring someone is? Is you have to tell them exactly what you want. And that's the part I'm
Yeah.
having a lot of trouble is scoping out
Well,
exactly what I want to hire a person to
so
do.
so that's the same thing I hear with YouTube creators and hiring a video editor. Is they always feel like they need to tell the video editor exactly how they want to edit the videos, but eventually they realize if they just have trust in the video editor kind of knows what they want, and they just trust them. Everything goes a lot better. So I think it's just finding somebody just like trust that knows exactly what you want. So you don't have to tell them all the time. They just, I got you. I know what you want.
I see what you're
You
saying,
know.
Udra. I just know that I saw some people describing that like Soy was the cool kids and they was not the cool kids. Um, but like,
Soy's definitely a cool kid.
nah, fucks with him. Look, Ismail is like a dude who's like a barometer for like authenticity and bullshit. If there is nothing
Yeah.
else about Ismail Gadamsi, is that dude does not vibe well with fake shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's my impression of him. So if Ismail be like he fire, I don't have to question it. Ismail's not gonna like risk his fucking reputation on saying some shit's fire that it's not. But I also know what
Yeah.
it means when Ismail says something's fire too. So like that also means what it means to me. But in the way that it is, like nah, so he's like got cosign. He's all good. But like I think it's interesting when people all want to be somebody. I guess that's the way to put it. Like I see all these people who just like want to be Soy. And I'm like, that's so cool. Like, not like I don't want to be Soy. Not don't get it twisted, but like,
Yeah.
it makes me want to like give him even more respect, cause that's fucking fire. Like, bro, you got like guys who want to be you. Like, say word.
Yeah.
Hats off, bro. All love and shit. That's what that leaves me with.
I mean, you got people with soy merch. I don't have any of his merch in my room, but I got a couple of soy merch.
Nah, I respect that. I've slept on. Do you have merch? I guess you do. You're wearing your shirt right now with the
I got
dragons
merch
on
right
it.
here. That's about it.
That's
Not for sale yet because I don't have a store. So I'm just wearing all my merch.
bro. I feel that. Like, it's fucking hard to get into the merch game.
Dude.
What you gonna get into it though? People can be able to like cop that in the next month, 2 months, 6 months, a year and a half.
Eventually, I mean, I have about 30 t-shirts in a box, but I just don't have the site to sell them. But yeah, one of these days.
I don't know. For me, it's logistics. I just need to find a merch provider. I want. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it's on some ego shit. I'm like, nah. I want my first merch drop to be like I bought that in Montreal. So like, shoot myself in the foot a bit with the internet providers, but turns out finding people to work with that you like is hard.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got lucky with the guy that made my t-shirts. He's a pretty long time friend that worked on a video game with me back in the day and then started his own t-shirt company. And I hit him up. I was like, "Oh, you make t-shirts. You want to make my t-shirt?"
Was he like, how much?
Yeah, I mean, these were pretty cheap. I can't remember what they were, but pretty cheap to make these.
Nah, it's not hard to make like a 1-2 shirt. It gets complicated when you're talking about enough shirts to sell and shit. Because if you're gonna have shirts
Yeah.
to sell, you have to have, like, I want to sell slippers, and I don't know how much it costs to make custom slippers, but that
Yeah.
shit be like $50 a slipper. Like, I'm only gonna get like 6 pairs for sale, and then it's
no
like I
one's gonna
saw.
buy $50 slippers.
That's not even true, bro. People will spend $40.
Really?
Yo,
Okay.
you get like okay, people aren't gonna get shitty slippers, bro. But those like thick soled, like fucking nice cushiony, they're
Yeah.
like $40 on Amazon and people buy them.
Okay.
So I'm just marking it up
All right.
$10 to put my brand on it. That doesn't even seem
All right.
shitty.
Okay. I didn't know that market.
I don't know, man. But when you live in the cold, like
Yeah.
you up in Montreal, it's like hold on. Let me put that in American because I do not know your fucking temperature shit. So right now, we are 15 degrees. In like
Fahrenheit?
yeah, 15 Fahrenheit.
Nice.
There's a Google button that switches it actually quite easy. I never saw it before. But yeah, so that's how cold it is here for like 5 months a year, bro. Like trust.
Okay.
You get like the thick, you want to keep your feet warm, plus you got the socks
Yeah.
on and you still kind of maybe a little chilly. So like everybody I know up here fucks with slippers. Like it might not be like a South thing cuz like y'all might be like sandal
Yeah.
people. And sandals might be the vibe for y'all. But trust, bro, slippers, man, it's what the vibe
Okay.
is.
I can see that.
But, like, that's super
them
nifty
feet
that
warm.
it isn't, like, hot out by you. I never even thought that it would be related to something like that.
Over here, I mean, when I lived in Reno, I think we got around to like 10 degrees Fahrenheit over there. So I do know cold, but over here in Georgia, it really doesn't get that cold.
Nah, I looked where Georgia was. It doesn't look like it gets
It's
cold
like
at all.
34 or something.
I don't know.
It gets down to like 32, like freezing, but that's about it.
Nah, it's cold as fuck up here. But, like, that's fine. I mean, you really appreciate the summer when it comes. That's the beauty of
Yeah,
it not
I
being there.
bet.
But it also means people be fucking wearing toques all the time. I know y'all might not call them toques, but they be toques in my world.
Mhm.
I don't know, beanies. I think y'all call them beanies.
Yeah, beanies.
That's the weirdest shit ever to me.
Toques, huh?
It's just toques to me. Toques. C'est parce qu'en français, c'est le toque. And so, like, sometimes words don't come the English first. Like, in Quebec, you just end
Yeah.
up with not a lot of words, but some words. The French word wins. And in this case, le toque beat out English. Because English people won't even call it like whatever. They call it the French word just like that. And it's just kind of how it ends up being sometimes.
Yeah.
You're an Ushanka guy. I don't even know what the fuck a Ushanka is. I'm gonna have to Google that because I don't know what the hell that is, Ismail. But
Ushanka.
yo, it's the fucking puffy Russian looking hat one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's the one. That's it. Is say a word. Fair. I never really wore one, but that's actually a cool hat look.
Oh, okay. I know those hats. Yeah.
Y'all wear like hat gear up there, or y'all cap likes? Y'all wear caps? I don't know what y'all call them.
I don't see many hats up in here. Sweatshirts, hoodies. That's about it.
No winter jackets.
No, when I was in Reno, there'd be winter jackets because it would snow for, a quarter of the year.
Yo, say where, bro. Here it's like a winter jacket. It's like when you inevitably cave and cop an expensive ass fucking I'm gonna stay warm this winter jacket. Like you just end up copping some shit that is too like, and it's yo, they're well made. They get the down feathers or shit and whatever, and the goose shit, and like fucking keeps you proper. But no, I'm kind of jealous of your weather. I'm not gonna lie. I fucking hate this time of year. It's dark. It's cold. It's miserable. Yo, when you mask up where we're at, it's fog land for the glasses. It's just pure fog.
Yeah, I bet.
But yeah, I don't know where else to go with this. I feel like for me it was cool that we broke past 3 hours. That was like
super cool, dude.
I feel like to me that's like when you really prove you're like a super interesting person. We bust past that like
I guess
3 hour threshold on a conversation. Nah, sometimes bro, like at an hour I'm dying. I don't know where to go with shit.
Really?
Cause sometimes
Dang.
like look, sometimes the first 30 minutes to an hour, it could take some time to build up chemistry and then cool, we like do it, we're flowing. We get it. But like sometimes I'll be like blah 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 blah. I question him, bro. I'll be like, yeah, it's kind of like that. You know what I mean?
What?
I'll be like,
No, I don't know what you mean. Can you explain?
I try. Now New Yorkers, I had to learn that that's a real thing. They just go, nah, I mean, because they don't actually know that you don't know what they mean. They just say that. And then I realized I have to like contextualize shit. Like, nah, I'm not from where you're at, bro.
Yeah.
But like some people just
tell me
not talkers. Like they'll be like sometimes the ones that ask to do the interview and shit. Like, yo, I want to come do the interview. And then they like,
oh, are you gonna talk?
like they don't got shit to say or anything, or like it's like, it's your life story. Bro, I wrote some songs, I put them out. That's what it is. Honestly though,
I was born and I'm here.
My experience, producers make much better interviews than rappers. Producers are like,
okay.
I don't know if it's because y'all are more sober or something in your
I'm
careers.
definitely not sober.
Well, not like that, but like I find like rappers be like got blackout periods where they like wild out for 6 years and just fucking don't remember a fucking thing. But like producers kind of can't do that because they're doing producer shit. So there's a bit of like you have recorded proof of your memories.
Yeah.
And like, but like I'm not saying being like fully sober, but I mean like I just find like rappers like some rappers talk well and they like really do their shit. But like in my experience, it's like the ones who did radio or the ones who were YouTubers or like they had to do something else to do it. Like rappers who just rap sometimes make for painful ass fucking interviews unless they're media trained.
Yeah.
Like, cause there's media training that goes into some of those guys you see on Vlad and shit. Not always. Some of them.
But Twitch also helps with media training. How do you talk in front of a camera? You know, because I know 2 or 3 years ago I was a bubbling mess in front of a camera. You know, I didn't know what to do.
Yo, man, I remember.
It really does help.
I was afraid to go live for like 4 years. Like we did it.
I didn't have a camera for the longest time.
Is that better or worse?
I don't know. So I did a couple of streams recently where I used the animes thing where it just gave me like a 3D model, and I wasn't really on camera, but I was, and I kind of like that. But I like being on camera.
Yeah.
Every now and then I don't want to be on camera, you know.
I sometimes wish I was a cartoon or one of those guys who had just chosen to be an avatar for their whole career and people don't know who I am.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The anime's avatar stuff. I tried that a couple times. It was fun.
But I feel like the cat's out the bag. Like,
Yeah,
you know who I am. Like, what am I gonna do?
yeah.
Go now to the avatar thing? I mean, from
So that's what I do is like I'll be like, I don't feel like doing camera today. No cam stream.
mm,
You know,
you
but
can
I
do
just don't
that.
feel like being on camera. Yeah, you just be, I don't feel like being on camera today. I'm gonna be an avatar.
I suppose you can do that. I mean, like I say it like when I go, you can do that. I'm in my head not asking logistically can. I'm like, does it
Yeah,
make sense for me to like go on cam without being my
people
face
like
there?
it. If it's like very random and not all the time, I think people like it because it's like, yo, this is different. You know,
Hmm.
this guy's having some fun.
I'm gonna think about that for some of the non this kind of stream where I probably should be on cam because this is one of those ones where I do want my face all over it.
Yeah,
But nah, I appreciate you, Fel. I feel like this was actually one of those like really insightful interviews that gave us all food for thought. And anybody that watches this, honestly, if they're smart, really caught a couple of real knowledge nuggets. I'll give you a good one. AR glasses will solve your problem from. That's the type of knowledge nuggets he was giving out. Where Udra's like, "Shh, bro, don't give him all the." I'm like, give some of the sauce, cause some of the sauce gets people curious enough to go and convert to the bigger sauce.
it's all thought projects, and I'm not going to do it. So someone else might just do it because I'm not going to spend the time doing it.
Yeah, I feel like that a bit too, cause like that's the kind of shit I want to produce, but I need a guy that like. Anyway, I have big ambitions for that space, like to blend like
Yeah,
just a physical location where like people, like 5, 6 people in a room, could create a show experience for the internet. Well, and then also even have a local audience. Like the potential's ridiculous.
yeah. You don't even need AR glasses. You can use your phone, right? Because if it's hooked up to the program, you'll see everyone on your phone, right?
Nah, you gotta use fucking glasses or some shit, bro.
I mean,
Cause you gotta
glasses
be
would be way
like
better.
mic'd up and like fucking.
Yeah,
I've performed holding a phone. It's
yeah.
trash. It's not nice. It's not good.
So I saw this one thing. This dude was in a ball suit performing. So all his real life animations were also being displayed. You know, like one of those trackball suits for
Yeah. Okay.
animating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like what Lil Nas X wore, and then Facebook was trying to sell me one for $1,500, and I was like,
they're expensive, dude. And you don't even need just that. You need probably like 10 or 20 cameras
"Oh, is
because
that really
you
part of the
need.
deal?"
Yeah, it needs to capture all angles of the ball. So if you only have a couple of cameras, it's not going to get a full good capture of every angle that the person is at. So you'll get like these like really weird jitters that happen because it'll be like the ball is out of frame on all cameras, so it's just gonna like snap. So you need like 10 or so cameras for that shit.
See, this the type of gems, yo. You just help somebody know I can afford
Do
this
it.
or I can't afford this, cause 10 count.
And if you don't want to use cameras, you can use the Xbox One Connect thing. I did that before. I had 3 Xbox One Connects. I had like 2 here and 1 back there, and they were motion tracking me. This was like 10 years ago. But yeah, gems. I don't know who in this chat's going to be doing that, but if you're going to do that, let me know. I want to see it.
Yo, Ismail, is that the kind of shit you want to get up to? Cause bro, I'm telling you, there's fat stacks in that shit in Montreal. I don't know about you, but if you live in a coder city, what I call a coder city, is there's that many software companies where if you're a
Yeah,
coder, you're just guaranteed fucking money. Like,
yeah.
yo, fat stacks everywhere. I think Facebook's here, everybody's here. Like they all
You
came to
know what's
Montreal.
crazy now is with COVID, a lot of these gaming companies all went work from home. So you can pretty much work at any gaming company now from anywhere in the world and not have to move, which is nice. Like my company went all work from home. Some people like even moved states, like they just like moved across the country.
Yo, I wonder what's gonna happen. Yo, cause I wonder then if the hammer falls on that, and then they're all like, "Nah, bro, you gotta come back now."
I think it's too late for that, but they waited. So we actually released one of our games during COVID, and they realized, oh, no one needs to be at work for us to make games. We're still making games. So honestly, I think it's on them. If someone's not going to be doing their work because they're working from home, then they shouldn't be hired. Like,
Nah, it's not that shit.
yeah,
So my company's doing this. You have to come back a bit, and we got to hear their bullshit.
yeah,
There's two sides to it. One is as much as there's a huge chunk of people that love it, there is a huge chunk of people with kids. And I mean
yeah,
that like parents have very split reactions. To be fair, some parents love it, but usually the people who don't like it are parents or like immigrants also seem to have a higher percentage of like not fucking with work from home because they don't know anybody and they're already in a new
yeah,
city. So like work is kind of like a social hub. And so the one thing that's not happening with work from home is that like walk around the hallway, shoot the shit bullshit.
yeah,
Now, believe it or not, the reason your company lets you take 20-minute coffee breaks is probably because you shoot the shit with your colleagues and you actually come out of ideas for work by accident more
yeah.
often than you think. And they can't fake that shit with work from home. They have yet to find a way to make us behave like that in chats.
They've tried it. They've tried to force coffee meetings with like people that I like never talk to. It's like I don't even know who you are.
I mean, like, because then I realized it because I went to like work for half a day and then I went to the office party because we were allowed. And I realized, yo, I'm talking about NFTs with people and how to integrate
Yeah,
this. And I'm like, yo, I'm not having these chats regularly. But like everybody I work with was hired because they're like a specialist in some area of life. And so that
yeah,
natural incubation is the only benefit I could see where if you're a not successful video game company like Bethesda or one of these dudes, not to say they're not
hmm,
successful, but maybe struggling with some shit, I could see how they force people back to office. And when I say Bethesda, I mean the Montreal
yeah.
office.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mostly I
Yeah,
just,
I think now it's too late for our company.
yeah, that's fair. But like, cause I don't know, man. Everything's kind of weird with it. And I mean, because I don't think the industry's set in stone. I think people are acting like
Right.
the industry's set in stone. But I'm like, nah, yo, these people ain't turning down fucking 2K interactive jobs and shit. Like, they're not
Yeah.
turning them down to, like, nah. Like, some might, but then you're going to find out like 30% of those people that put their foot down just stayed unemployed, and people are going to have a very different attitude after. And
Yeah.
but I also don't think most companies are going to force people back, but I think you're going to see some hybrid model shit or VR. They're going to force you to do some weird ass VR shit where you have to sit in a virtual office if you're not going to sit in a
See,
real one.
me coming from producing a VR game and doing it 8 hours a day for 1.5 years, that's it sounds cool. I don't think people are gonna be liking it after about half a year.
I don't think it's.
Unless they get the headsets to actually feel like you're not wearing a headset or something, which is like just glasses.
That's where I think
You know?
it'll go. Like some shit where it's like, it doesn't actually have to be bigger
Yeah.
than that, you know?
I was thinking like this you wear glasses, right? And then the screen, the lens then becomes like dark, like it goes dark, and then that's your screen. And then when you're done, it just goes,
Right.
I don't know how to explain it, but like your lenses are your actual screen, and your screen goes away.
Yo,
That'd be
I
dope.
picture that shit. It would make that would be
Yeah.
hard because you'd have to convince non-glasses wearing people to wear glasses, I guess. But I
Yeah.
mean, yo, that would be fire because that's kind of like Google Lens and shit. Only like you just need a way to also block out whatever light comes in, I guess.
Yeah.
But
You'd
like,
probably be wearing some like band, some Star Trek band.
and they could like build that right in, so it goes
Yeah.
and just like comes the fuck out, and then I mean that's got to be like 3 to 5 years away tops.
It's gotta be close. They need to get computers to be smaller and processing to be more powerful to stick them in like a glasses frame or something like that. So you're not having to carry a big old battery pack on you or something.
But aren't they
You
also
know?
fucking with shit like where they do processing server side and shit, and then you effectively just got to stream?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Like,
I just got a call.
no worries. Aren't they like fucking with shit like running all the power server side so that like really you need the shittiest computer ever to just stream whatever?
Yeah.
And
The
then
cloud, yeah, they're doing it all through the cloud, which I think that's actually might be where computers are going to be going soon because video games are getting to be so big. Like there's some games right now that are like 500 gigs, And it's like, how is someone who has a PC gonna sit there and download a 500 gig game?
I don't even think I
Whereas,
have that space.
yeah, whereas if you just if you boot up your computer and was connected to the cloud, you wouldn't have to have a hard drive ever again or download anything ever again.
And with the 5G powers, that will inevitably properly come. You could
Yeah,
run
but
that mobile.
I think consoles and computers are going to be running on cloud. They won't even have a hard drive anymore.
That makes sense. I mean, like, shit's really good now in that world. I don't think it's
Yeah.
Stadia good, but like, it's really good.
Yeah. And maybe we'll have a personal hard drive, but I think most of it's going to be all cloud.
Yeah, like you'll be told, don't keep your fucking tax files in the cloud. Keep those on your
Yeah.
personal USB keys. That's
Yeah.
what's, you know what? It's probably gonna be USB keys are gonna get to come back because like they're compact and shit. But yo, man, I appreciate having you, Phil. This was a great
Yeah.
conversation. I know I
It was
said
fun.
that like 3 times and we kept talking, but to me that's just proof to the pudding, right? I wasn't fucking around. I kept getting distracted
Yeah.
by shit you said. But at this point I'm fucking hungry. And I really want
I'm hungry too. I gotta get some
I'm not
food.
gonna lie. And I'm definitely like excited that we had this chat, and I'm glad that we all connected. So shout out
It was
Udranightshade
fun.
for making that happen. And yeah, everyone can follow you. I'm gonna make your links appear in the chat, and then
Yep.
they'll all
I'm
have links in description.
I'm pretty much
I'll
Fel
fuck that shit
350
up.
everywhere. Fel 350 on Twitch, SoundCloud, Spotify. My Instagram is the real Fel 350. So I couldn't get Fel 350 on Instagram. But yeah, I'm Fel 350 everywhere.
Yeah, that's dope. And so basically, yeah, it'll all be links in descriptions down below and shit for the future people watching, so that you can do that. I'm glad to have had you here. Do you have any like last words you want to say to the fine folk out there?
I'm glad, appreciate you having me. I think it was fun. Just everyone get out and make music and don't feel like you have to make a song, right? Just have fun with it, right? That's I think the whole goal of music creation is having fun. Don't make it a job because you're not having fun.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Just also find a job, if that's like really what it is.
Find a
gonna
job. If you need money, find a job.
Nah, Phil, you
And then
really
make music.
you really did amazing, Phil. I agree with Uja. This was a great conversation, and I mean, I say that for real.
Yep. Thanks, Udra.
Hold up.
It was really fun.
Why is it being like this?
Maybe have me again sometime.
Yo, for sure.
just
I
talk
would
the
love
talk.
to like chop that shit up with you again. You're like super powerful in terms of your ideas. Oh, I didn't start the raid, and I don't have the control on hitting the raid button. That's new. Normally,
They removed that.
What do you mean?
Oh, there we go. Looks like you just rated.
Oh, that's
You
bad.
just rated.
Didn't even get to do my proper outro or anything.
Oh.
Ah, that's the worst. Why did we already raid? That's why I didn't want to hit the button.